gentlemen, are you ready to rock? Hello, Cleveland. It's so good to be here. It's time for the Rage Select Button. In another world, I think I was part of like an 80s metal band, John. So,
yeah.
Welcome to everybody to the Rage Select podcast. In another life, I was also I was also Ira Glass, apparently. But no, hello everybody, and welcome to the Rage Select podcast right here on Rage Select. I am Jeff.
I'm John.
And it's time for the fucking podcast, man.
Yeah.
Like I think this is podcast number 135.
Wow.
That's pretty nuts. So
I'm gonna celebrate that because that's a anniversary thing, right?
Yeah.
135.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, everybody's celebrating their 135th episode. So maybe that's what we should do from now on, John. It's just every episode. It's like, oh my God, everybody! It's part 2 of Resident Evil 0 HD Remaster.
Oh.
Woo, we did it! We hit part 2. All right. Yes, but John, it has been a while since you have been on the podcast, I believe.
Yes, probably something like that.
How's it been going?
Yeah, it's good. Went to a concert last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who'd
yeah.
you see? Oh, no, I know who you see, you bastard.
Yeah, Amanda bought tickets.
Bastard.
I got to knock out a bucket list band that I wanted to see live, which was Real Big Fish.
Damn.
It was pretty awesome.
Was Jason Murphy there?
Not that I know of.
Real Big Fish fan.
I know the concert was sold out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was at the Parish down on 6th Street.
Oh, yeah, I like the Parish. Mm-hmm.
Very small venue.
Yes, it is. I saw, I saw the Submarines there, and I saw it might have been like Eamon Tobin or some DJ there one time that I really liked. But okay, well that's cool.
Yeah.
It's upstairs.
Yeah,
it's an upstairs venue. It's very, very small. But it's a cool place. Like it's got a kind of a nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
It
It was nice. It was a good venue.
Was it packed?
Well, it was a sold out show.
Right. Well, how many people? I don't know how many people total the Parish can hold.
Oh, I don't know either. But I mean, it was pretty. I mean, it was a full size concert. I mean,
do you have to elbow? Do you have to sneakily zip up to the front of the stage? Do you do that, or are you just like? Oh.
I am old enough to where I don't care.
Okay.
As long as I can see the stage and snap at least one good picture of the band on stage.
Okay.
Then I'm good.
Were they touring? Do they have a new album out, or were they just touring?
No, it's their 25th anniversary.
Oh, okay.
2016.
All right, 25. That's huge.
So they've been around for 25 years. So this is their tour for that. And then also traveling with them is a band that it's funny because I just recently became fans of them called Suburban Legends.
Okay.
They're really good ska band.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of similar, a little bit more clean cut than you would say Real Big Fish.
Okay.
And by that, the fact that they apparently started out as, in addition to doing their normal ska stuff, they were one of the live bands at like Disney World. So they do a lot of Disney covers.
Wait.
Matter of fact, one of their albums,
like Under the Sea and Part of Your World.
Yeah, but all ska.
But ska version.
But ska, yeah.
And they had them in Disneyland?
Yeah, Disney World. Like
Disney
during
World?
like in California in the little shopping area or whatever, they'd have live bands out there. They would play. And so they would do covers of Disney songs plus their own stuff, which is very clean.
Are you sure you're not thinking of the Jonas Brothers?
No,
sure you
no,
didn't
no.
You didn't actually see the Jonas Brothers,
No.
did you?
No. They're actually pretty bad. They're a pretty badass band. If you go on Spotify, actually their newest album, they just released an album called something about, I think it's like Friendship or Friends or something like that. The title.
You're not really selling me on these.
Oh,
guys.
I know. But what was interesting about it is they actually revealed that this is their last album.
Okay.
That they're after this tour they're done. Like they're breaking up the band or whatever, which is really sad because they got on stage. They even have like choreographed dance numbers with the band, and it's actually like pretty entertaining. What was funny? They started singing "You've Got a Friend in Me," and a mosh pit formed, and they referred to it as the Friendship Pit.
That sounds great.
It was amazing.
So wait, hold on. I want to back.
They also do a cover song of "You've Got a Friend in Me," the theme song to the Golden Girls.
Right.
Or not? You got a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. Yeah. So wait. Real Big Fish is their 25th anniversary.
Yes.
So Real Big Fish,
they started in '91.
So I was 12 when Real Big Fish started. That's weird. That's just a strange thing to know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, and then how was Real Big Fish?
Real Big Fish was great. They were, I mean, literally, they just came out and it was just like nonstop music. Mm-hmm. They did a lot of their normal jokes where they'll be like, "Hey, there's this, anyone want to hear a song from the '90s that we were famous for?"
Yeah.
And then they'd start playing like, something by Nirvana, and then be like, no, wait, we didn't write that song.
Oh, okay.
That was everyone knows that was fucking Green Day,
right?
Or something like, and he'd never say the correct band name, or they play a song by Dropkick Murphys, and then or not Dropkick Murphys, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and then the impression that I get, and they're like,
right.
no, everyone knows that was Buckeye Cherry, and then they would just
cherry jokes.
yeah, but it was fun. Like it was actually a really fun experience, and there was also the opening band. The first band was a band called the Maxis, and they were all masked people, and they claimed to be from Greenland.
Mm-hmm.
All their music says that they're from Greenland. I don't think they're from Greenland.
Okay.
But they have a polar bear mascot that jumps in the mosh pit.
Okay.
Which I thought was
wait. Was it an actual polar bear?
No.
Come on.
No, it's a guy in a polar bear suit.
Come on, the Maxis. I know that, like, it's way safer, but, like, if you could teach a polar bear how to mosh and not, like, but be a cool dude in a mosh pit, not like, one of those jerks who likes to just punch, like, chicks in the face in a mosh pit, that would be awesome. I'd love to mosh with a bear.
But yeah, it was.
Of bears,
but the concert was a lot of fun. Like I literally had a lot of fun at it. It was great. And the Real Big Fish, like I said, that they're the one band. I would say one band that I listened to in high school that I'd never seen live. And so when Amanda found out that they were coming into town, she knew that I'd never seen them live. She goes, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Fuck yes, I want to go."
Yeah. Oh no,
so,
I would have loved to. And
they were awesome. It was just as good as I expected it to be, and it was a lot of fun. And it is crazy to think that they've been around for 25 years.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's funny because when I think of Real Big Fish, I think of two things. I think of basketball.
Yeah,
because they were the backing
They actually
band.
had baseball tees that actually said beers across
okay.
them.
Yeah. It's funny because I didn't see basketball when it originally came out.
Oh, see, I did.
I was like, I that was at the time. Like, I don't know if I was. I'm pretty sure I was a fan of South Park, but it was just kind of like I remember seeing the. When the hell did that movie come out? Hold on, let's
I don't remember
let's get a
when it came
timeline
out,
for
but-
this. I'm pretty sure that when that happened, I was like a total.
I just remember that that Trey Parker and Matt Stone took the money they made from that movie and went and made Orgasmo.
I thought that Orgasmo came before that.
No, Orgasmo was after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their first movie that they did, live action movie that they did, was a movie called Cannibal the Musical.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I've got it on DVD. It's fun.
Okay, 1998. So that was 2 years after I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was like 20. And one of the funniest things that I think about whenever we do Rage Select, John,
Yeah.
especially even like you, is that nobody here ever knew like 20-year-old Jeff. You guys all only know 30-year-old Jeff.
Yeah.
Like 20-year-old Jeff was shitty. Like, I don't like that guy. He was so up his own ass, like just watching like pretentious films and like on his high horse about all these different things. And I mean, I know.
Wait, how is that different from 30-year-old Jeff?
Okay. So imagine the pretentious high horsedness of 37-year-old Jeff, right?
Yeah.
Now, like, multiply that by like 12, and now you have 20-year-old Jeff.
Okay.
So angry. That guy was so angry.
Well, that's what you are when you're in your early 20s. You're supposed to be angry about everything.
Oh, so angry. I mean, like,
and pretentious. That's the time to be angry and pretentious.
Oh, so angry, so pretentious, just so frustrated with everything, all of life. Like, I wonder if it would have been different if I hadn't, because all through my 20s, I spent that time working these shit jobs for money because I thought that was the only thing you did with your life, right?
Yeah.
Was work shit jobs for money, play a bunch of video games to forget about the shit jobs that you work for money, and then eventually develop a pretty healthy alcoholic drinking addiction. But yeah, I think it's a bit. I didn't see. Anyway, the whole point of it was that I didn't see basketball until years after it came out.
Okay.
And then when I did see it, I was like, "This is the tits, man!"
Yeah,
like,
the movie's fucking hilarious.
This movie is fucking hilarious, and not only that, but like, Real Big Fish is a huge part of the movie.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like I remember that when it's not Real Big Fish, they have like a couple of My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult songs in there off of Hit and Run Holiday, which is like one of my top. It's probably in at least my top 20 albums of all time. I fucking love that. You don't ever hear anything about My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult anymore because they're just so 90s, I guess, or 80s industrial trash disco. But yeah, for those of you at home, okay, so now we've racked it up. For those of you at home, if you haven't seen basketball, go do it.
Yes.
If you haven't ever listened to Real Big Fish, go do that too.
Yeah.
And if you have never heard of My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, go listen to Hit and Run Holiday.
Yeah.
13 Above the Night's all right, but Hit and Run Holiday, that one's like great. In fact, my friend, I have a friend from back in the old days that was the one who turned me on to them, and he actually got to see them live when they toured for Hit and Run Holiday.
Yeah.
And he said it was awesome. He said they walked on stage, they didn't say a single goddamn word. They played the entire album from start to finish in the order it was on the album, and then just walked off stage and the thing was over. And I'm like, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. Well, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and the fact that Amanda was able to get that for me, it was awesome.
Yeah, go Amanda.
So, I can now say I've seen pretty much all the major bands that I'm a fan of that I would want to see live. I've now seen them live.
Is there anybody left that you really wanted to go see?
No, I mean, for a while there, I never thought I'd get to see the Gorillaz live. But then I ended up scoring front row tickets a long time ago. Last time they were on tour for the Plastic Beach album, I ended up scoring front row tickets for that, and was like, "Holy shit! I actually get to see them live. This is amazing."
Cool.
And then I was like, "Oh man, now it's only like Real Big Fish. I can't think of anybody else." And now I've seen Real Big Fish, and I can't think of anybody else that I really am like dying to see live.
You know, from that time period, I seem to remember like when I was in my my late teens to early 20s that like I missed seeing NoFX live like 6 times.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen them
I would
live.
always find out about it like the day after it happened, or like there was one time where I was sitting in I think I was sitting in like a bar or a restaurant or something with some of my friends, and we're just flipping through the Chronicle, and it's like, holy shit, NoFX is playing in like an hour and a half. God damn it.
Yeah, no, I got to see them live at a Warped Tour.
Oh,
if I remember correctly, yeah.
So what album would you say that people
for Real Big Fish?
Yeah.
If you want to know songs that you would know that you've probably heard that actually got them popular, probably Turn the Radio Off. I actually am a big fan of their album Cheer Up. That's my favorite album. But the cool thing is, if you actually want to listen to 3 specific albums, you do Turn the Radio Off. I think How Do They Rock So Hard?
Yeah, Why Do They Rock So Hard?
Or Why Do They Rock So Hard? And then there's the one after Cheer Up. I can't remember what it is. The reason I say
We're Not
listen
Happy Till You're Not Happy.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason is because that's actually an album is a trilogy. Conceptually, the
Really?
first album is about them being a brand new band, just getting into the world of music, into the music industry, and trying to make it big. The second album, Why Do They Rock So Hard, is about them being big, like they're popular and they're famous or whatever.
Right.
And then We're Not Happy Until You're Not Happy is them being old jaded rock stars.
Okay.
Like that's the trilogy of the albums.
Yeah, I feel like from Why Do They Rock So Hard that Somebody Hates Me is
God,
like
it's my favorite song. One of my favorite songs from that album.
It's like the anthem of the internet before
Yeah.
there was an internet.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to it, just going like, yep, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Also, but Cheer Up is my favorite because the song Cheer Up, and then also the song You Don't Know is those are some of my favorite stuff, because what most people may not who've not realized Real Big Fish, one of the big appeals, they're very upbeat, they're ska, that's up tempo, very happy sounding songs.
Right.
Their lyrics are depressing and dark as shit.
Yeah, it is kind of a great dichotomy between the two of them.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's see. We've got a weird ass grab bag of news, but I got a couple quick things that I want to go over before we get to that.
Let's do it.
All right. Number one, I said this at the end of last week's podcast, but I want to just briefly talk about the puppets.
Let's talk about it.
People have been asking, and it's one of those things where I'm not ever sure. I know there are a lot of people who don't follow us on Facebook. It's hard sometimes to get a very specific message to the Rage Select fans unless I say it like in every video that we do, right? I mean, like every
because not everyone listens to the podcast.
Right.
Not everyone watches every
or they're
video.
behind,
Sometimes they only watch Sunday streaming. Sometimes they don't watch Sunday streaming at all.
Right. So here's the thing with the puppets. You guys probably noticed that they're not out there right now. The reason for that is that I know. Okay, so. From the last third of last year, the puppet intros and outros started to become a little more and more complicated and special effectsy, and these different scenes and stuff like that. Like it used to be when we started, you just come up with some dumbass joke, put puppets in front of the green screen, go my dick, ha ha. and then like run that through After Effects, plug it in, boom, good to go, right?
Yeah.
As time was going on, we're doing like backgrounds and smoke and particles and fire and sound effects and ADR sometimes, like these edited scenes and stuff. And I love all that. The main problem comes in the way that we put out videos. And the way that we do videos is that we usually record everything all the way up until Tuesday, right? Because Tuesday is when all the new games come out. So the new games come out, I record with somebody. It used to be that I would record with Grant later on at night, but now mostly Sarah on Tuesdays. The problem was that we were coming to this point where we would record, and then I would immediately have to start working. Like would record, walk my dog, get something to eat, and then I'd stay up until like 5 o'clock in the morning doing stuff, and then let the video render for another 2.5 hours until like 7:30, and then get it uploading and go to bed. And when I started adding up all the time that the intros for the 5 videos that we were doing, because it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that all had the intros and outros on them, were doing, it was literally like the other part of my life was gone.
Yeah.
It was basically just either editing videos, recording videos, or drinking heavily were the only things that I was doing. And it was really starting to get to me. So anyway, the takeaway from this is not like, I don't, no pity or whatever, but for the last couple of weeks, we've been just cranking out videos old school style, right? Just record a video.
Like the first videos that were on Rage Select.
Right. Cut it together, put it up. This has allowed me to have a huge amount of free time to even do stuff like just play video games if I want to.
Yeah.
Or go hang out. Or like, I don't know, go to meetup.com and find there's 65 basket weavers who are having a basket weaving class, and I'm going to go to that. Or I don't know, whatever.
The fact that you know that there are 65 basket weavers having a basket weaving class, that's...
Well, have you ever been to meetup.com?
No.
It's like they have a name for whatever the members of the group are, right? So it'll be like trivia night on Wednesday, 56 trivia hounds attending, right? Or like this. So anyway, so here's the thing. We're actually kind of looking at some staffing right now to try to kind of bring some people in, because we have some people that have been, life has been getting in the way, right? So thinking about bringing in some new people, and part of that, hopefully what this is going to lead to is reworking certain parts of the website in a way that I can do intros and outros without being destroyed. And whether that means like shifting everything over one day, I've actually had that thought where it's like, instead of the video that came out, instead of the game that came out on Tuesday's video coming out on Wednesday, maybe it comes out on Thursday to give me an extra day to just edit stuff, right? Instead of having to stay up, like record and then
so instead of Indie Friday, it'd be Indie Monday.
Exactly, right? Or maybe, shift everything over one, maybe. Or I've also been going back to the idea of, if I have time to be able to maybe train some volunteers who want to help me with the video editing parts of the website, that might be a thing that could work as well. But the takeaway was that the way that it was going before was like, I'm already a burn the candle at both ends kind of guy, but that style was like, just set the candle on fire and then throw it into a lake of gasoline, to the point where I was getting like super, super goddamn burned out. So that's what's going on with the Puppet intros. The Puppet is fine. Jeff Puppet and Jason Puppet, I did not throw them into a ditch or sell them into a life of puppet servitude or trade them for
They're good. Don't worry, guys.
Sriracha chicken slider at Taco Bell. They're fine. They're not gone forever. Hopefully this is just going to be a way for us to try some brand new stuff. Okay, so all that's out of the way. We got one more non-video game thing before we get to the video game things.
Are
you ready?
What is it?
Are you ready?
Jesus.
Well, there was a brand new Suicide Squad trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Set to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, I thought that was a little forced, but
at this point, I'd rather it, like, it was a little forced.
Having said that, looks like a fun trailer.
I have no... I'm sorry, I have to turn this off because Bohemian Rhapsody will distract me. It just makes me think of Wayne's World.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, the more I see of this movie, the more I'm excited for it. I'm actually kind of glad that I don't have any connection to the comic book.
Yeah.
Because it means that I'm not just like, oh, man, what did you do to fucking Killer Croc? Or, you know... I'm still not exactly feeling the lady who's Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I think that there's something about not having her high-ass voice her Tara Strong voice that kind of.
And Tara Strong wasn't even the original voice of Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. There's something. It just seems like there's something a little bit missing without that. It's kind of like, once you. I've never seen a live action Harley Quinn or even an animated Harley Quinn that wasn't that kind of high, squeaky, nasally, like New York voices. That kind of seems like it's part of the character. I like what we've seen. I like actually the parts with the Joker in the trailer, except for his hair is so green.
I'm okay with that.
It's
supposed to be
so green. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not really familiar with many of the characters outside.
Yeah,
of Harley
no,
Quinn.
I you know what it kind of the trailer feels like, and it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
The trailer feels like they went, how can we invoke that feeling of Guardians of the Galaxy? And then they cut the trailer to do that.
Yeah.
Now that's not necessarily a complaint. That's just I'm just saying that's what it gives off. That was my immediate reaction. It's like, wow, I feel like that was a trailer of someone trying to invoke that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And it looks good. I want to see it. This is the first DC movie in a long while that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to this, I know they showed footage of, apparently, I didn't know that it was already filming, but apparently they're already filming the Wonder Woman movie.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And during the premiere of The Flash, they showed this and did a thing where they showed clips from the Wonder Woman movie and had a interview with the director of it.
Okay.
And that looks good.
Okay.
So
Do you think DC's finally getting their shit together?
No, I think that they're in a step in the right direction and it's not so much DC but more Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
I still have no hope for Batman v Superman.
Okay.
But whatever. I'm willing to give anything a try.
I think I'm pretty sure that I said this before, and I'm pretty sure this is no new information to anybody, right? But I think that one of the reasons that the Suicide Squad looks great is because, like, I think that we all can agree that between like Dark Knight and Man of Steel and things like this, that DC is taking this like dark route to all of their filmy stuff, right?
And this seems fun.
And well, for this, it works because it's a bunch of gritty, dirty, nasty villain characters, right?
Yeah.
Like there was always a tonal thing that I didn't like about Man of Steel, and that Superman to me is a bright in the daytime, like, he's
superhero.
A light character, right? Not light like he's funny or anything, like, or Deadpoolish, right? But he's just a brighter character.
Yeah, he's not Batman.
He's not Batman, right? Yeah, it's like there is that traditional thing of like the day and night in the DC universe being Batman and Superman respectively. But all this stuff works totally well for a dark universe because it's a bunch of scumbags and evildoers and
a lot of them Batman villains.
Yeah. Yep. It's actually going to be a little weird to see a movie with Harley Quinn and the Joker in it that doesn't have any Batman to be found
that we know of.
This is in the same universe as Dawn of Justice?
Yeah.
Dawn of Justice?
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, it's like we don't see him anywhere in the trailers, but that doesn't mean that Batman or Superman or some other character doesn't show up in some way, shape, or form, or doesn't get mentioned.
Does
if you're asking about the TV shows,
yes.
those are not part of the same universe.
Okay.
The TV shows are one universe. The movies are a completely separate one.
Okay.
Because they don't want Stephen Amell or they don't want Grant Gustin, Stephen Amell to be part of the movie franchises.
So there was a picture that I saw that was supposed to be of the entire Justice League.
An art piece. Concept
rendering.
art.
Have they cast the Flash yet?
Yeah, they've cast everybody.
Oh, okay. But it's obviously not the same guy.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's a completely different actor.
Okay. Anyway, that looks great. I'll totally go watch that movie.
Yeah, no, I'll go watch it. I'm excited for it. I mean, this trailer did a lot more for me than the other trailer did.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I had a complaint, and it's technically not a complaint, it's that it feels like someone went, man, Guardians of the Galaxy did really well.
Right.
We need to invoke that so people go see this.
I wonder if it'll be because Guardians had Hooked on a Feeling in that oh god, that trailer just so pumped me up.
And speaking of Guardians, they just finished the final draft script for that. So
Guardians 2?
Yeah, they're
but those songs were I think I'm using this word right. They were diegetically in the movie. Like he was listening to those songs in the movie.
Yeah.
So I wonder, Does Bohemian Rhapsody play like a part
Probably
in
not.
the movie?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the movie's gonna end up being like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think
Right.
someone wanted to invoke that feeling for the trailer.
Well, that's
not a bad idea.
I mean, games have been doing that for a long time. As
Yeah.
I bitch all the time about when a game takes like a, and movies have gotten into the same business as well, right? Of taking a slow cover of some song and then putting it, over slow motion, high action, of shit exploding, right?
Yeah, I do think Warner Brothers is looking at people's comments going, man, Marvel's movies look fun, DC's movies look dark and gritty, and I don't fucking care.
Right.
Because that's not just me saying that, that's a lot of people saying that. And I think the marketing execs went, maybe we should show that this movie is a little bit fun.
Yeah.
So that people will actually go see it.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's actually fun or not.
Yeah. It's interesting because in comparison, like the Civil War trailer is pretty serious and kind of a little darker. Like,
Yeah.
I really just want to see.
A lot of movies with this 2016 is really the year we're going to get movies of superheroes fighting each other, because we got Batman versus Superman,
Right.
And then we got Civil War, which is Iron Man versus Captain America,
Right.
It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, did I not really want to get to this point where we see the heroes fight each other?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
But whatever.
What are you gonna do?
I'm looking forward to all the movies. I mean, with the exception of Batman v Superman, though I'll go see it because I'm a nerd, and I want a reason to bitch. If I'm going to bitch, I want to have actually seen the movie.
Did you watch? I'm sorry, just real quick. Did you watch that? What's the new DC, like Legends of Tomorrow or something?
Premieres this week. It hasn't premiered yet.
Oh, it hasn't premiered. Okay,
As of this recording,
yeah.
It actually, as of this recording, it airs tomorrow.
Okay. What is that? Is that the?
It's a spin-off show from The Flash and Arrow.
You're right.
And it's basically got a bunch of characters time traveling.
It's not the. Oh God, who are they called? The Legion of Superheroes. Though,
No. It's not based on anything.
Oh, okay.
It's just
who are the heroes that are in it? Is it Atom?
The Atom. Canary, not Black Canary, because they actually have two different people who go by the name of Canary and Green Arrow, or in the Arrow show.
Okay.
There's Canary, and then there's the person who was inspired to become a hero by Canary, who calls herself Black Canary.
Okay.
Then there's Firestorm, the Hawkman, Hawkwoman,
okay.
Captain Cold, and Heatwave, and Rip Hunter.
Okay. Some of those are villains, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
Basically, Rip Hunter, who is a time traveler, comes to the present time, gets in touch with both the Flash and Arrow, and says, "I need these people to come with me right now." And then when he shows up, because they did this whole preview thing of it, he basically tells them, he goes, "Where I come from, you like they're giving the speech of this thing like, you're all heroes, and we need you to stop Vandal Savage, who's this terrible person.
I like
he's going to
Vandal Savage.
he's going to do this terrible thing." And then Captain Cold's like, "Yeah, I'm not a hero. Why am I here?"
Yeah.
And then Rip Hunter comes out and goes, "Well, where I come from, you're not hero. None of you are heroes. You're legends. And I know what's supposed to happen, and I'm here to make sure it does happen, or else everything's going to go sideways."
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Rip Hunter's played by the guy who played Rory in Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
So
All right. Well, on to the video game news. Enough of this comic book pop culture, real big fish, puppet intros. That was a pretty good wrap up of our entire first 20 minutes. Let's talk about video games.
all right, video games.
Okay, I say this all the time that like it's a weird week for news. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to try and make my New Year's resolution to stop saying that. But like, we're really scraping
It's
the bottom.
a funky week for news.
We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel this week. There is no theme. There is no connective tissue whatsoever. So you'll have to excuse me if my segues are awful this week.
You don't even need to write a segue, man.
Well,
It's two wheels. It doesn't make sense.
First up, so you remember how Hitman had that really confusing like business model where they were like, we're going to sell you like the demo, and then you're going to have an add-on pack that has like part of the game in it. And
Oh, no, I don't remember any of this.
Oh, did you not know
I
this?
just thought that the game got delayed.
No. What happened was that they were having, it was going to be like, you can buy the game for $30, but then there's a bunch of, you can buy the game for like $30, And then, but we're not releasing the entire game. We're releasing like 3/4 of the game. And there's going to be like add-on things that are going to come in the next few months, and you can either buy for $60 like a season pass, right? That it includes that part of the game, and then when these other parts come out, they'll be put into the game, or you can buy it for like $30 and then buy these pieces individually. And it was just like, the fuck are you doing? So Square Enix and I guess IO have dropped that, and now the new Hitman game is an episodic game.
Okay.
Big Raspberry! Square Enix.
I'm all right.
So March 11th,
Sure.
prologue mission and the previously showcased Paris setting is coming out, and there was going to be monthly releases with Italy for April, Morocco in May, and other settings including Thailand, the United States, and Japan coming later on. Now, do you know why I say Big Raspberry to that? All middle fingers and fart noises into the microphone?
No.
Because I always fuck up episodic games. I hate playing like a 1/10 of a game
and then waiting 6 months, 2 to 6 months.
Even if it's a month, even if it's a week. I got delayed on Resident Evil Revelations 2, right?
Yeah, and that came out 1 week after the other.
Yeah, because it's like you get to the end of it and you're just like, move on. I play in large chunks.
Yeah.
I play in 8 to 12 hour chunks. I don't play games. I know that some people do, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. It's just that I know there are plenty of people out there who are like, well, I work and I have a family and whatever. I have like 2 hours a day maybe to just plug in and play some video games, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And for them, that's great. You know, you're going to play the Telltale game, you're going to play it, you're going to be done, you're going to have a sense of accomplishment. I play games in 12-hour chunks, and I want to make progress. I want to play a game and get like 50% of the way through it before I stop playing it.
See, my problem is like I'll play episodic games, like I'll buy the first episode just by itself, and I'll play it, and I'll be like, man, this is really good. You know, I really like it. I'm going to buy the season pass. And then I'm like, but I'm not going to play it again until the whole fucking thing's out. And then I forget it exists.
Right, because that's the other problem, is that I've done that numerous times. I mean, last year people were telling me, like, Tales from the Borderlands, awesome. Everybody's telling me I should be playing that.
Yeah.
And I agree with them. The problem is that by the time those games release in full, there's other games, right?
Yeah.
There are other things. Like, I have every week a bunch of games on my docket, and it's hard for me to have a reason to go back to a thing out of nowhere. Like, Life is Strange had some weird potential, right? And I think I would like to sit down and play it. So with something like Hitman, like, that's the kind of
You know
game
what this kind of sounds like to me?
What's that?
Sounds like they're not done with the game.
I think that they had a strategy to release it and then work on further parts of it as time went on, because that's the only reason I can think of to release like 2/3 of the game right away on launch day and then add in more of it over time.
Yeah, it's because they're not done with it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to cover up that fact. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
I can't disagree with you, but I really wish they would just wait and put the whole thing out as a game. Like, I really wish that they would do that instead of putting it out 1 month at a time. Either that, or maybe I need to make a new feature for Rage Select with all this new free time that I've got, where it's like, we're going to play episodic games every month or every week, and like flip between like 4 or 5 different episodic games that I haven't finished yet, and do like episode 1, episode 1, episode 1, episode 1, and the next one's we're going to do episode 2, episode 2, episode 2, like a weird sequential that's like stretched out over time. I don't know. All I know is that I like Hitman, and I would like to play this game, but there's a good chance that when you release a shit like this, it's going to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Like, I've been playing a lot of Dragon's Dogma recently. I'm so glad that they released that shit on the PC, because people were telling me, like, oh, this game is great. And I just... It came out the same year as Skyrim and Dark Souls and fucking Star Wars The Old Republic. 2012 was a banger for video games.
Yeah, it was.
And it just kind of got lost in the shuffle for me. So, anyway, next up, hey, John, are you sick of hearing about Five Nights at Freddy's? Okay, well, I got some Five Nights at Freddy's news for you. Scott Cawthorn has finally decided to not be a giant wang piece and has actually given a release date for Five Nights at Freddy's World well in advance of the actual game coming out.
Good for him.
Instead of just being like, I've got a release date. It's tomorrow. Ha, bitch. And then, like, my schedule's all messed up. February 19th, Five Nights at Freddy's World will launch on Steam. I cannot wait. I cannot even wait, because I know one of the most enjoyable things. Not okay. I don't want to put on like my top 10 things that happened last year, but one day the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's World was released. Do you remember that trailer?
I do.
Oh, I have never had as much fun as going into the YouTube comments and watching the diehard Five Nights at Freddy's fans just lose their shit.
The shit? The fuck is...
You've ruined it all. It's all garbage now.
Yeah.
You fucking piece of shit. Take this back. What have you done to my franchise? Oh, I was just like, it makes my face
On
feel...
that day, Jeff's heart grew 3 sizes.
Oh, yes, feed me your tasty anger, YouTube comments.
Feed me your rage.
The only times where I could go to YouTube comments and be like, I didn't do any part of this, but I could just sit back and watch the train just crash in slow motion.
And then when it comes out, everyone's going to play and go, it was actually pretty good.
It's going to have like a bunch of weird stuff. I really enjoy watching the Game Theorist videos about Five Nights at
I do too.
I have no interest in playing Five Nights at Freddy's, but we do from time to time anyway.
Because people ask.
Yeah. Do you enjoy them at all?
I've never played any of them.
Okay. Well, maybe
that's the thing. I've never played. I've watched people play them.
Yeah.
But I personally have never actually played them because
you don't have really any interest. Yeah.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I would play it. Like if you were to like, hey John, we're gonna sit you down and we're gonna have you play Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know, one of them.
Right.
I'd be like, okay, I'll do it. I'm all for it. I'm game for it. I just have no desire to do it in my own personal time.
Yeah. I like everything about Five Nights at Freddy's except actually playing the game. I find that to be tedious in the extreme.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where if you look at Five Nights at Freddy's and strip away all of the... If you strip it down to what it is as a game as opposed to the lore and the visuals and the designs, which I think all that stuff is great, but if you cut it down to what it actually is as a video game, it's not something that I'm interested in playing. It's just, like
I can get that.
Switch to camera, switch to camera, switch to camera, switch to camera, look in that store, close this door, open this door, close this door, open this door. Oh, jump scare, you're dead. And it's like I get virtually no sense of accomplishment from doing anything in that game.
Well, I feel like for the appeal for those games is the jump scares. I mean, for people who watch on YouTube, who just watch videos of it on YouTube, the people playing it getting jump scares, I think is fun, it's entertaining. But I think for the people that actually play it, the thing that is entertaining is finding out what the fuck this game is about.
Sure,
like the phone calls from the security
Purple
guard
guy, or whatever.
The phone calls from him, the letters or whatever, just the different things that you're
piecing together the story,
and then coming up with theories. That's the reason you play it. That's the satisfaction of getting one more piece of the story is the thing that's driving you to play the game. For a lot of people, at least, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
then for those who are not interested in that, they like watching Let's Players play it so that they can, Let's Players be like,
right.
When the scary things happen, and then people laugh and go, ha ha ha, that guy screamed like a girl.
Yep. Cool. So this is not the only piece of Five Nights at Freddy's news. This is a thing, I can't believe it's taken this long, John. I cannot believe it's taken this long. And what is that? There's merch.
Oh, there's already merch.
Yeah, but this is like super official merch or something?
No, like I've seen merch at like Toys R Us or at Target.
Are you sure that it's not like rip-off stuff?
No, it's Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
Like little pop vinyls type thing.
Well, maybe this story...
Yeah, no, those.
These?
Yeah, those.
Okay, well, maybe this story was... the story that I'm looking at came out yesterday.
Oh,
okay.
Weird. Because some of that stuff that you're looking at is already in stores.
Okay. Wow. Well, shit. Anyway, apparently they're putting out... They got some action figures. They got some pencil toppers. They got some keychains.
Was that the purple bunny? Is that named Bonnie? Is that?
I believe so, yeah.
It comes with a guitar. That's awesome.
Yep. A flying V, no less.
Yeah.
Keychains, plushies, action figures, pencil toppers. That's the one that kind of gets me. What the fuck buys pencil toppers? Okay. Well,
grade schoolers.
Whatever, man. I guess Five Nights at Freddy's probably does appeal to younger people.
Yeah. kids in elementary school, middle school, possibly even high school.
Yeah, little plushies, big plushies, all kinds of plushies.
Nice.
So yeah,
that's cool.
Go get your Five Nights at Freddy's on. I feel like
yeah. I've never seen the action figures before that you're showing, but yeah, those look cool too.
Yep.
Though I will say the child with the balloon, it seems weirdly out of place. I know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's dark.
Well, it's kind of like I guess in most of these it's the actual animatronics, right?
Yeah.
But then like in these these little Funko little figurines, they've got like the puppet, and they've got one that's like the crying child.
Yeah.
Which is pretty goddamn dark.
Yeah.
When you know a little bit about the story of Five Nights at Freddy's, it's like, okay. And actually, no, I take that back. The whole thing is dark when you know the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, yeah, okay. All right, so let's stop talking about the FNAF and talk about John Romero.
Oh, John Romero.
The prettiest lady in video game development of all time.
Made the greatest game on Earth, Daikatana.
Yeah, I've never actually played Daikatana.
A friend of mine bought it for me for $2.
Yep. Did you play it?
Yes.
How bad is it?
Very.
Okay, great. So apparently, John Romero has released some new Doom levels.
Oh, yeah. No, I did hear about this.
Yeah, that you could go to it's a Dropbox that you can go to download some. I guess they be like. Oh, here, I'll just click on the link to the Dropbox. Are these like WAD files to
Probably.
put into? Yes,
John Romero was bored.
Yeah, apparently. The story says the level is an interpretation of level E1 M8 Phobos Anomaly. But yeah. So I have a feeling that at some point we're going to have to figure out how to take a look at this because it's not every day that Lady Romero gives us.
So we do that on the Super Awesome Video Game Show.
I mean, shit. I can't even get to this Dropbox. I'm sure it's just crushed. Poor Dropbox. But yeah, what a weird thing.
Yeah.
What a strange thing to happen of just John Romero to be like, so I guess I made some Doom levels this weekend. You want I don't trust it. Next thing it's gonna be Kill Creek up there and we're gonna be all the old favorites are gonna be back. You remember Kill Creek?
Kill Creek. Jesus.
Oh shit. Also, how long has it been since you've played Doom, John? It's hard.
Whenever the last time I think I played it was when they released the Xbox 360 Live Arcade version of it.
Yep.
I think it was then.
It's so weird because that game is not made for you to look up or down. Right?
Yeah, well, it doesn't.
Yeah, so it gets a little. It's just strange to play.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to go back and play.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we'll look at it if I can get the Dropbox link to ever open up. All right, next up, Bravely Second has a release date. It's going to be out. Bravely Second End Layer is going to be out in April, and there is a collector's edition and a demo and all that crazy stuff.
Nice.
So yeah. Did you ever finish? Did you ever play?
I never played any of the Bravely games.
Do you own a 3DS? You own a 3DS.
I own a 3DS. I haven't touched it in a while.
I liked Bravely Default, but I never. It was one of those things where I feel like. Kind of like Fire Emblem, where on my old 3DS it was good, but then I just kind of got tired of playing it, so I just stopped playing it. So, again, it's one of those things where I say this all the time. I really wish they would bring back that, here's a piece of hardware that lets you play 3DS games on your Wii U, so that I could just sit down.
God, that would be amazing.
In front of a TV and play Fire Emblem or Bravely Default, Bravely Second, or whatever.
It's one of the reasons why I'm actually I kind of. So I got that Retron 5. And it can play both Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. Mm. And I'm kind of debating going to Game Over Video Games, our local retro chain here in Austin, to buy old Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games.
I got a Empire Strikes Back lunchbox full of them somewhere around here that you can root through if you want. But yeah, so Bravely Default was good. Bravely Second, I'm sure it's going to be fine. We got a bunch of different Nintendo stuff going on this week, and the next story is that apparently Famitsu has talked a little bit about what the Twilight Princess HD Amiibo Link Wolf is going to let you do.
With Midna?
With Midna, yeah. let's see. There's going to be I'm just going to read out of this. Using the Wolf. This is from NintendoEverything.com. Using the Wolf Link amiibo at certain places will allow you to play Thorough Battle Trial of the Beast. If you clear this while owning the giant wallet, you will earn the bottomless wallet. This lets you hold up to 9,999 rupees compared to the giant wallet's maximum of 1,000. Link also mentions something about how Link's health inside normal dungeons can be recovered by the amount of hearts you preserve in the exclusive dungeon. Blah. I don't even know what any of that fucking means. But there is one other piece of information in here, and that is that apparently that information, some of that information will, if transferred to this particular amiibo, be accessible in the new Zelda game when it comes out.
Oh.
But only through this amiibo.
Okay. No, I understand.
Like, it's not going to access, which I find to be a little grotesque because, like, you just look at my save files, Nintendo, like other games do, right? Like,
yeah.
Unlock, whatever. Because I'm not a huge fan of keeping track of my amiibos and what they do. And
well, you have a ton of them, so
I have two. Actually,
you have two.
Yeah, and I don't like that Link amiibo because he's got that this yellow pole holding him up in his little slash position.
Yeah,
it just looks gross.
Yeah, we've only got two, and both of them are Amanda's. That's the Yarn Yoshi and the Kirby.
Oh, yeah. I gave you the Yarn Yoshi, I think.
Yeah. You gave us the Yarn Yoshi.
But I am still... I kind of forgotten that they are doing an HD version of Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I remember really liking Twilight Princess. So
I liked it, so yeah.
I might have to go back, and when that comes out, that's coming out in... I believe I looked up, and it was March when it's coming out. So we'll probably have to take a look at that. Next up, this is not Nintendo, but it is the 3DS. There was a new trailer for Final Fantasy Explorers from Final Fantasy Legacy. This is weird, John.
Yeah?
Do you know what this game is?
I vaguely remember it, but not really.
Okay, now don't like me. Don't.
It's the true legacy of Final Fantasy.
Don't mistake this with the one where it's like you're big and the monsters are little, and it's like either chibi. On top.
Okay.
It's not that.
It's not that one. Okay, then I don't know what this is.
This is actually a 3DS game that came out in 2014 in Japan, where you recruit monsters. And it's more of kind of like a mission-based thing. But then you have these kind of like little versions of the heroes from different Final Fantasy. I'm starting to believe that Square has gotten into some kind of weird thing where this is all they know how to do anymore is make games that have like all the characters from all the Final Fantasies and they're all in one place. Blah, 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 blah. Like I played a phone game called I think it was Heavensward or something like. No, wait, that's the 15 thing. I don't know. I just feel like I keep seeing this like between this and Dissidia and that one that we were talking about that I can't remember the name of where you got chibi versions on top of the heads of big versions, that it's like they're just so banking. Oh, and also, not to mention Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy IX coming out on Steam, right? It just it feels like Square is just swimming in their own nostalgia. Like,
oh, of course.
Which is, I know that they've probably been doing that. Well, no, see, that's weird because there was a time, even recently, where, they were at least pushing forward the Fabula Crystal Novalis, or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
13, right? They had 13, 13.1, 13.2, right?
Yeah.
Or 13, 13.2, and then Lightning Returns. And then you had Final Fantasy 15, you had that Final Fantasy Type 0 HD that came out.
Yeah.
Like, these are all newer things.
And at some point in the future, we're going to get the 15 or whatever the fuck it's called.
Hopefully this year. But
goddamn, do I want to play that game after that demo.
Yeah.
And the longer it takes to come out, the less my interest in that game will be.
Yeah, I don't know. It almost... I don't know, man. Like, this trailer did nothing for me. It was like... It just looks really super generic, but... I don't know. Come on.
Playing
Square.
on your nostalgia.
All right, next up. Apparently, Disney Infinity is continuing to do interesting things.
Oh, yes.
Apparently... Disney Infinity 3.0 is going to have an edition that's coming out that coincides with the Marvel Civil War.
Okay, the Captain America Civil War.
Captain America Civil War, called Marvel Battlegrounds, coming out in March. And this is off of a Game Informer story that apparently it's going to be an arena fighter like Power Stone or...
Nice!
Yeah, with different...
I could get behind an arena fighter like style component that's like Power Stone.
Yeah.
Because Power Stone was fucking badass.
So the play set is going to come with a new Captain America, the First Avenger figure, which has got him all with his hat off or his cowl off and
nice,
like
right.
all Steve Rogers, and then the actual little crystal thing that lets you jump into that on March 15th. And then you can use any of your existing Marvel figures from 2.0 or the new ones that came out 3.0, Ultron, Hulkbuster, and a few other ones. And yeah, then you basically go, and it's like a whole separate module where it launches to a screen, and then you put the amiibos, you put the Disney Infinity figures down, and then it populates the character select with whatever ones you have.
That's badass.
And then you can pick them, and you can totally fight. And I'm like, damn, I gotta be honest, like, between the amiibos and Lego Dimensions and Disney Infinity, like, I wasn't a big fan of Skylanders, but these motherfuckers are doing some interesting shit.
Oh, yeah.
I only wish that I hadn't given Aaron all of my Disney Infinity 2.0 figures so that his child could play with them. Maybe his child is done with them, and I can get them back and covered in peanut butter and like Play-Doh and sticky paint.
By the way, you're never getting the Lego Dimensions back.
That's fine. That's fine. Of course, if they come out with some kind of like Lego Dark Souls 3 expansion, then I will have to come and wrest it from your cold dead hands. Anyway, though, this seems great.
Yeah.
And really creative. And
it does. I like it.
I feel like the other thing that I need to do is I need to go back and get the Force Awakens pack for Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
And play that, because I really do want to. I mean, I feel like there needed to be more Disney Infinity, or there needed to be more Episode 7 interactive media.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to. My problem is like my money is stretched thin as it is.
Yeah.
I don't need more reason to go buy stuff. So
how much would you pay for this thing?
For just that?
Yeah.
For just that figure with its little,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, probably like, I would expect it to be like $10, $15, maybe 20.
Max 20?
Max 20.
Okay. I don't think there's a price for
because
it yet,
it comes with a an entire mode that wasn't there previously.
Right.
So I mean, which is truthfully all it is. It's a update that gets downloaded that the little thing from the internet, and the little thing unlocks it.
Right. Right.
That's all it is. But I would pay. I'd figure like maybe $20 at most, and even that's stretching it a little bit because it's just one figure with the mode,
with the game mode.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Did they? Is that stuff still being made by Avalanche?
Disney Infinity?
Yeah,
I think so.
Let me. Let's see. Oh wait, here's Marvel Battlegrounds gets an official release date. Hey, look at that. Disney Infinity was March 15th. Oh wait, I already said that. I was looking for prices, not release date. Are they still Avalanche? Yeah, still Avalanche.
Should still be Avalanche.
Yeah. This is the same company that made No. Okay, that was what I got into. This is what the problem that I got into when I first talked about Disney Infinity.
Okay.
This is not Just Cause 3 Mad Max Avalanche.
Oh, no.
There's two companies called goddamn Avalanche.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Anywho, all right, let's move on. Our next story, damn you, Dropbox. Our next story is The Witness has been priced and is going to be available for pre-order.
Yeah, cool.
So I don't know if you're excited about The Witness at all.
Eh.
Were you a big fan of Braid? Or
I liked it.
Yeah. Apparently, The Witness though is going to be $40, which is a bit more than your average download
more than people
only
were expecting.
Title, right? And then there's this kind of snarky. Quote from Jonathan Blow where he says, "The pre-orders are a regular price. They contain an amazing bonus pack-in, the warm, fuzzy feeling that you have pre-ordered the game, and that's all." So it's exactly the same as buying the content, buying the game at launch, except earlier. Which I don't know if this is like him trying to make a statement about pre-orders. If so, great. I don't think people should pre-order things ever.
So did you hear about? You maybe a news story you're about to lead into, but is there? Did you hear about the other thing regarding The Witness?
No.
So apparently it got graded or rated for Xbox One.
Oh yes,
and then like when people asked about it, he goes, "Oh no, it's never coming to console ever. Period." And they're like, "But then why did this happen?" It's like because apparently to get it sold on the Microsoft Store for PC, not just on Steam.
Okay.
Like, it had to get rated for Xbox One in addition to that.
Okay.
But he was just like, no, it's never going to happen. I will never release this on console.
That makes a certain amount of sense.
So,
well, it's on the PS4.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's on
Is
PS4?
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
for
okay.
sure.
I don't know.
They kept showing it,
or at least
Sony events.
Okay,
right?
maybe he just meant it's never coming out on Xbox One, but I thought I read that he said it would never come out.
Yeah,
on console.
I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive. I could be
maybe
wrong
it is
about
PlayStation
that.
exclusive, but yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it says it's coming out for PS4, so yeah.
Windows PS4.
Yeah.
iOS TBA 2016.
Okay, I didn't realize it was coming out on PS4, and I thought the comments were like it was never coming out to console. Maybe he meant that console.
Yeah, I think that it was supposed to be talk about just the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Anyway, there's also a thing I didn't know this, but apparently he recently said that it'll take 80 to 100 hours to complete.
Yes.
If you dig into it way
Yeah.
into it.
I think he said that if you just plow through the story, it's like you can actually beat it in like 20 to 30 minutes or something like that, or an hour or something. But if you actually go into the whole game and want to get 100% everything, it's like 80 to 100 hours.
I think this is one of those that I've really kind of like. I saw some of the early trailers, but I've really kind of held back on looking into any information because, I mean, I think Jonathan Blow is a real creative guy, and I'd like to just play it, right, as opposed to...
Maybe I'm wrong about the 30 minutes to an hour. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours, something like, because he was talking about like speed runnings,
right?
And that he himself, the guy who created the game and knows all the puzzles and everything, that when he tried speed running it just to see if it could be done, like it was like only a few hours.
Okay,
so,
but I mean, that doesn't make a that seems. I mean, if it's a puzzle game, that seems like if you go into Portal and you know how to solve all the puzzles in Portal, you could do that shit in a hurry.
But yeah, he said he beat the story beginning to end, but didn't do any of the side stuff, and like shaved off like a ton of time.
Right. All right. Well, next up, John, I know this is pertinent to your interest.
Oh, yes.
There have been some leaked. Well, they're not confirmed, but I don't see how it could be anything. But there's been some leaked screenshots of that Platinum Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Which apparently won't come up because my browser. There we go. So let's take a quick look at these. Beep, bop, bop, beep, boop. It looks an awful lot to me like Transformers Devastation, with kind of weird cell shading. The turtles are a little skinny.
Yeah, kind of.
In some places. I like is that Bebop or Rocksteady?
Bebop
right?
is the pig.
Is the pig.
Or no. God damn it. Now you've got me confused.
So, I don't know. These look pretty good. I mean, they look like, I have a feeling this is probably going to end up a lot like Transformers Devastation, which, if I could be, I never actually went in, we never actually rated Transformers Devastation, but, like, that game was solid, repetitive, and they expected you to play it over and over and over again.
Game.
But solid, fun. And this also looks solid and fun, and that's good because the Ninja Turtles deserve... to not be in crappy-ass video games or crappy-ass movie time.
I agree.
So I think this looks real fun, and as long as it's 2020... Well, I'm going to buy it regardless, right?
Yes.
We're going to put it on the show, but I would probably say if it's somewhere between $20 or $30, that's probably a reasonable amount, depending on how long it is. I also think there's definitely some kind of, like, maybe equipment type of thing going on here.
Yeah, different types of weapons.
There isn't a current TV show or...
There's a cartoon.
There is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. I've lost track over the years.
Yeah, there's the cartoon that's going on right now, which does not look like these screenshots, so this is not tied to that.
Okay.
And then there's also the movies,
right?
The live action movies. The sequel's coming out sometime this year. But yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the comic books. There's a slew of comics.
All right. Well, fair enough.
They even crossed over with Ghostbusters at one point.
Nice. I don't even look. It's Krang. I love Krang. The guy puts his brain in his guts. I like
it's
that.
It's not the brain. That's the creature. That's the alien. The body is a giant robot.
I know.
Do you?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry, just looking at the background.
He is an Utrom. That is the name of their race, the Utroms.
When are they going to make that spin-off game with those hot rod teenage kids? What are they called? Like the Neutrinos or something stupid like that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like one guy's got the big, like, weird, like, space pompadour coming off the front of his. They drive around in, like, a 50s spaceship. Like, it looks like a 57 Chevy, but it's like a spaceship or something like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No? Okay, fine.
Is this something that occurred in Ninja Turtles?
Yeah. They were out like the Dimension X, like riding around in their hot rod or something, and then they ran into the Ninja Turtles.
Okay, that is a random episode to reference.
Or I'm just making up
you could be
the most detailed hallucination makeup bullshit
I have
of
no
all
idea
time.
what you're talking about.
Fair enough. We'll figure it out. Speaking of Platinum Games, apparently Bayonetta 2 is coming back to retail and being released all on its own without Bayonetta 1.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in February, and it's going to be $30. So half the price of when Bayonetta 2 came out. If you want to, you can apparently still get...
Still Wii U only.
Yeah, you can still get the 1 and 2 pack on the Wii U from the digital store for $50 now.
Okay.
But if you want your own, honest to God, like hold it in your hand thing, you can get that in February for $30. What? As a side note, Bayonetta 2 is incredible. I don't know
it's
if
a good
I've
game.
spent enough time like licking the game's nuts.
We both like
you
that
know.
game.
That game is incredible, and it's fun and action-packed and awesome, and a great sequel to Bayonetta. Platinum Games really been just doing good work recently. Which is why it's such
it
a
feels
shame
like
that-
they're not shooting for AAA, like high-end games, but they're just shooting for fun games to play with interesting stories.
Yep.
And that they're like that's really what it feels like their mantra is.
Yep.
And they're succeeding.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have a couple of fan projects.
Fan projects.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
All right. So you remember Op Force, right?
No.
Half-Life Opposing Force.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, a mod group is making a sequel to it called Prospect that is actually going to be officially sanctioned by Valve and sold
They've been
on Steam
doing that a
for
lot lately.
$10. Yeah.
It's like because there's the Black Mesa game that is essentially an episodic remake of the first Half-Life.
Is that episodic? I thought it was all,
or maybe
all
it's the
done
whole
on-
thing, but it's on early access.
Oh, is
right
it?
now? Yeah.
Is it in early access? I thought that came out. Anyway, they put out a trailer for this. It looks like absolute and total garbage to me. I think that Half-Life 2 is a fine engine to mess around with, but I don't think it holds up super well over time.
Yeah, well, when it came out, it looked fucking amazing, and
Absolutely.
it still continued to look amazing up until recently.
Right. And it doesn't even look bad. It just looks kind of dated.
Yeah.
But apparently this is going to be following the character from the original Opposing Force, Shepard, as the crazy man.
Yeah.
What do they call that guy?
The Thin Man?
I don't think they call him. I don't remember. Anyway, the crazy guy from Half-Life is like narrating this trailer, sort of, except it's like obviously a fan-made version of it. This is going to be like Opposing Force, where it takes place with Shepard concurrently with what Gordon Freeman is doing in Half-Life 2
Okay.
at the same time. It's $10, and when the hell is it coming out? Sometime next month as a standalone.
Well, it's like I know there's like this is the third one I've heard of.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's the Black Mesa one, which is on early access. There was another one that just got released recently, or something that was like Half-Life related.
I think of Portal Stories Mel last year.
Well, they had Portal Stories Mel last year, but there was also something that was like specific, like to Half-Life.
Yeah.
To Half-Life itself, and then like it's just like Valve went, look, we're never going to release Half-Life 3, so if you fans are wanting to make it, we'll let you, and we'll let you sell it. Have fun.
I don't understand why they don't just let another studio make it. Like, they've obviously got a shitload of money over at Valve to just do whatever the fuck they want to, right?
Yeah.
Just let a studio make it. Let somebody else make it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I was a little dismayed last week to hear. It's funny because Nick and I had this conversation where he's like, fuck you, I want Half-Life 3. And I was like, well, there's Left 4 Dead 3. I'm sure that'll make Jason happy. And he's like, no, fuck Left 4 Dead. I want Half-Life. And I'm like, fuck the both of you.
They're making Left 4 Dead 3?
I want Portal 3. Yes, apparently
Oh.
there's rumors out there that Left 4 Dead 3 is on the horizon.
Huh.
So, which wouldn't be a super big surprise.
Okay.
The other thing, this one's just kind of just for funsies, right? Was I don't know if you saw this, John, but last week there's kind of been all the rage recently of taking stuff and remaking it in the Unreal 4 engine.
Yes.
And the last week there was a trailer for Metal Gear Solid, but in the Unreal 4 engine. And
it being called like Shadow Moses or something like that.
Something like that. It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Unreal 4 engine really does good. Now, this is obviously a mod group that's doing this. And there is absolutely no way that Capcom will ever allow this.
You mean Konami?
Konami will ever allow this to actually be a thing.
Yeah.
Because Konami have shown that they are just stone cold assholes these days. They will get hit with a.
I'll be honest. When I saw this, because I actually have seen this,
Yeah.
If they were like, and it's out tomorrow, I'd be like, Jeff, we need to start over the playthrough.
We need to start over the Patreon playthrough.
Yeah, the Patreon playthrough.
The only thing that's a little meh is the Solid Snake model that they're using looks weird.
Yeah,
to me.
a little.
That's one of the things about the Unreal 4, about a lot of these Unreal 4 things, because they've been like, there's like a Pokemon one, there was like a Legend of Zelda one.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So, yeah, I don't know. The Shadow, it's just called Shadow Moses. It's a shame, because as I've said numerous times before, there are ways for me to get HD versions of every single Metal Gear game except for Metal Gear 1.
Yeah.
And yes, I know that you can get Twin Snakes, but I want Metal Gear, unadulterated Metal Gear. Hideo Kojima Metal Gear, not that. But yeah, look at that. That's where we are right now in the playthrough, fighting Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Looks fucking great. I'm also surprised at how much of it seems like it's done. Like, they don't seem to have any of the characters in it, but the environments seem like
the environments seem to be done.
Ton of them.
Or at least a major of the amount of the environments.
Anyway, all right, so we got a few more stories, and then we're going to be done. There's an Iron Maiden game. There's an Iron Maiden RPG coming to phones.
I don't know what.
You don't know what?
I don't know. I just don't know.
What
I don't
don't
know.
you know, John?
Nothing. I don't
What
know
do you not
nothing
know?
anymore.
What do you
I don't know nothing anymore. My whole world is a lie.
Apparently, this is going to be. I love the beginning of this story. A free-to-play RPG based in the, and this is in quotes, expansive Iron Maiden universe. Now, I'm not a huge Iron Maiden fan, so I don't know if there is a, quote, expansive Iron Maiden universe. But yeah, Iron Maiden, Legacy of the Beast, in development by Roadhouse Interactive. Great. The team behind games like Warhammer 40k Carnage and Bike Unchained, and the band itself, apparently it's going to be following Eddie, the mascot of Iron Maiden, through time as he tries to get his powers back from, like, I don't know, demons or something. Or
yeah.
There's one picture. There's no screenshots. There's no nothing. There's one picture. It's got, like, Eddie, and he's fighting, like, Lightning Satan and, like, a Stargate guy. And then there's, like... something else that I can't really tell.
All over the place.
Yeah, so
looks like an Iron Maiden album cover for the most part.
Sort of. Do you want to take any bets on whether or not this is gonna? It's probably gonna be terrible, right? It's probably gonna be.
Of course, it's gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be fucking awful. Fucking Iron Maiden phone game. But I don't know. Keep an eye out for it.
I mean, they should just fucking someone don't do this shit. Just pay Double Fine to make me a goddamn Brutal Legend 2.
Well, there is that. Yes. Yes.
That's the only time this shit worked.
Yep. Take all that Grim Fandango money and make Brutal Legend 2. Yeah. All right. So got 3 more and then we're done. I don't know how I feel about this, John, but apparently Mortal Kombat XL is coming. Which is the version that's going to have every character, fatality, skin, all the pre-order bonuses, as well as all the DLC, as well as everything else. So it's basically all of Mortal Kombat X from beginning to end.
I mean, I think the name is pretty ingenious, but yeah, of course, it's going to contain all the DLC that's already come out, all the DLC that's about to come out with the new characters. Of course,
yeah,
it's a Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, it kind of. One of the weird things that you get with all of this pre-order BS that happens is, like, okay, so does it, like, if you buy the DLC for this game piecemeal, because there's already been one DLC pack, right?
Yeah,
that had like Predator and stuff in it.
No, that's the second one.
No, the second one is Alien Leatherface.
Oh, okay. No, you're right. You're right. I'm wrong.
Bo' Rai Cho.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you bought that one. Let's say you bought the first character pack, right? Let's say you bought some of the skins.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Some of the stuff was like retailer exclusive. Are you going to be able to get this stuff? Is it going to take into consideration the stuff that you've already purchased? Like, it just gets to a place where it was, well,
it's going to be a disc. Everything's just going to be on the disc.
Yeah, I know.
It's like every other Game of the Year version of a game that's been done.
I know. I guess it's just, if you're going to be releasing a version that has all of this stuff and I've already bought your game, it would be nice if you gave me the ability to buy the rest of these things that were retail exclusive.
Yeah,
but
they do. I mean, they
do that? Is that stuff already available?
I mean, I don't know if it's already available, but usually when they do release a Game of the Year version, they do actually release that stuff or make that stuff available to purchase.
Okay. Well,
I mean, most companies do. I don't know if they're going to do that, but
I'm really just kind of curious to see how much it's going to cost, whether they're going to be, because this is the sort of thing where I think that with Mortal Kombat 9, I waited until there was a Steam sale for like this version of it, and bought it a second time just to get all of the extra added stuff to it. So,
Mortal Kombat 10 was a great game.
Yeah, I really liked it. I really, really did. All right, so two more appropriate to my interest. One, apparently there's going to be a Dark Souls comic book series. Titan Comics is going to be publishing a series starting in April. That's being headed by, it's going to be written by George Mann.
No clue who that is.
So apparently Titan Comics is known for publishing like some Doctor Who comics, some Assassin's Creed comics, some Kung Fu Panda comics. And let's see, it's apparently going to be spin-off stories in the Dark Souls universe.
No, sorry, I'm making a face because Doctor Who and Assassin's Creed, if I'm not mistaken, are IDW, not Titan Comics.
I don't know. This
Weird.
might be
unless they're like a UK distributor.
Might be one. It might be one. I don't know. It might be like One Shot Comics or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. So the problem here is that this one piece of information.
Okay.
The comic will feature new stories set in the Souls universe and not serve as an adaptation of any of the games. I don't trust anybody to write, outside of the production team at From Software, to write stories in the Souls universe.
Okay.
I think that the stories in the Souls universe are so tight that I don't like the idea of people jerking up the waters with their like,
then don't read them.
What if this? Yeah, I know.
That's the thing. It's like if you don't think of it, don't read them, man.
Yeah, I guess
I don't read the Assassin's Creed comic books because they all, I mean, with the exception of certain of them, most of them suck.
I don't know. It's just, there's been, I actually stumbled onto this one webpage that had like fan comics from the Souls series, and some of those were great. I mean, some of them were just absolutely incredible. Like there was one that was all about Father Gascoigne fighting and then having Eileen like
for Bloodborne
for Bloodborne, yeah, as a friend coming to him and trying to like help him out and keep him from going beastly, right? And then kind of knowing that was inevitable in any case. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish that I really don't like the idea of diluting the Souls property by or Bloodborne or any of that stuff by pushing it out and letting other people do shit in it.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that it was all just one thing.
No,
because there's actually, I mean, the thing about Dark Souls 2, and Bloodborne is that they all have the potential to have all kinds of great additional content added into them.
Yes.
It has to be done right, though, or else you're just going to end up, as far as I'm concerned, bruising the brand as a whole.
Yeah.
But and last but not least, Transistor, John?
Yeah. I'm a fan of Transistor.
They're selling this adorable red figure from Transistor.
It is adorable.
Yeah, just like this little figure of her with the sword and the jacket and everything. And it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And if I put things on...
For a second there, I thought you were going to tell me it was like an amiibo or something. And
No.
that was going to coincide with the release of the game on the Wii U or something.
Yeah. It comes with a little statue, or a little box that comes in a box that you can see the statue through in case you don't want to take it out of the box. Let's see how much it is on the store. I think I looked this up. Yeah, it's $35, which is a little bit more.
That's actually not that bad.
It's not that bad, and it looks like a really fun little figure.
Yeah, it's cute.
And I would totally get it, except for the fact that it would just end up with sitting where my other amiibos are, gathering dust.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a fan of Transistor, I highly recommend checking this out because it looks like a really well put together little thing. It's in a kind of a fun style, and Transistor was a hell of a game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
So. And that's it for our news. So get ready. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, John's going to talk to us about some of his favorite and or least favorite and other notable things about games from 2015 as we continue to just push that whole game of the year, not game of the year thing further and further into 2016. We're also going to answer your questions. You can send them in to mail at rageselect.com. And stay tuned because we're going to be back in just a moment. I don't know what that was. Sorry, John, I don't know what that was. All right, ladies and germs, welcome back to the podcast.
And we're going back.
It's the Rage Select Podcast.
2015.
We got to go back. It's your lists, Marty. Something's got to be done about your lists. So, John, I have to give you, of the people that I know that are on this website, right?
Yeah.
You are probably the person that I know that plays video games. You're like the second most video game playing person behind me.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like, I got life. I only play AAA releases. I mean, it's a lot like when I used to, before I did this job, right? You just play the 4 or 5 games that you're interested in that year, and you play the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Instead of playing 6 games every week and just being like, I can't ever finish a game.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, drumroll, it's John Sitton's 2015 Best and Worst 2015, everybody! Yay! So why don't we start with your least favorite? Let's get the bad news. You know, whenever anybody asks you, I've got good news, I've got bad news. Say, give me the bad news.
Give you the bad news first, so that the good news seems so much better.
Right. I've made it my 2016 resolution, John, to start whenever anybody says that to see like, give me the good news first, and they'll be like, well, Oh, you want the good news first? Oh, okay. Well, because you know what? Is everybody always sets it up all cleverly about like, well, the bad news is that the ninjas are coming to kill us. Like, what's the good news? Well, the good news is that there's only 600 of them and not 6,000. So if you actually ask them for the good news first, it would fuck up their whole clever thing that they were going to do.
Yeah.
That's my New Year's resolution.
Okay. Well,
anyway, so let's start with the bad news first.
Well, if that's what you want, I had actually set it up to go with good news first, but we can go your way.
All right, let's do it.
We can do your way.
I'm shaking it up.
Most disappointing things of 2015. Now, I got to say, the list that I have here, because you actually told me about this like 2 weeks ago,
right?
And then bumped me, and then off of a podcast. So I actually already had this list set up for a previous week, but these lists are in no particular order.
No order
whatsoever, because I couldn't be
arsed around with. Okay.
Yeah. But fuck your order and best of shit.
Hey, man.
And worst of shit.
It's not me, it's the internet.
So first of all, and this first one is actually only because it's a recent annoyance.
Okay.
Just Cause 3.
Okay.
This is on my worst of.
Sure, I had it on my worst of list.
For one particular reason. I think it's the same reason you did.
Probably so.
Which is just the fucking mandatory online bullshit.
Yep.
Good God, that like it'd be like, oh, you can't connect to servers, you're offline. And it's like, okay, well, I'm offline. Well, let's go look at the map. No, trying to connect. I can't connect. You can't play your game. Sorry.
It's horseshit.
Yeah.
It's horse shit. It is like there is no game out there. I don't care if Jason Murphy has glided more miles than I have. I just do not give a shit about that. And it just takes up real estate on my screen and annoys the shit out of me.
It could have been, it seems like a fun game if I ever got to play it.
Yeah. Between that and the weird load time memory leak issues. When we talked about that on one of our shows, there's somebody in the comments who said, like, well, there's no way Just Cause 3 will actually work on the consoles, but you should play it on the PC because blah, blah. It's a PC Master Race combat. Here's the thing. When it works, it's fine on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
It's just that there's these weird load times that have to be some kind of problem or bug.
Yeah.
Or
and I know some people are like, we'll just unplug the network cable. It's like, well, I'm connected wirelessly. We'll just disconnect it from your network, and therefore we won't even be able to. It's like, no. I don't want to have to disconnect things. Yeah. I don't want to have to get up and change something. I want it to just fucking work.
Yep. I want to be able to say play offline. What the goddamn shit is so hard about play offline?
Yeah.
Bloodborne does it. Dragon's Dogma does it. Just about every game that has an online component will allow you to just play offline.
Yeah, but
not
offline.
This one. Or at the very least, turn off leaderboard horseshit.
Well, it's the fact that it like when it first, and I don't mind that it first tries to connect and goes, "Hey, I can't connect. You're going to be playing offline."
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that every time you try to do anything, it tries to reconnect.
Yep.
It's like, no, you're offline. Stay offline.
Yep.
Just stop.
Yep.
If I want to get online, I'll close the game and restart it.
Yep.
At least give me that fucking option.
Sure.
That was only because it was a recent thing, because I recently just started playing that, tried to play that game, and then like gave it back to you because it annoyed the shit out of me.
It was real disappointing.
Battlefield Hardline, obvious reasons. Game was just kind of mediocre.
Meh.
And it's just not
metastic.
Not good.
Yeah.
The Order 1886 was a big disappointment. And this one was mainly just because, god damn, this game could not live up to any of it what it promised.
Yep.
And it's not that it promised to be this amazing game, but it kind of it like all the trailers, the way they promoted it, it was like, oh, this is going to be a really great game. And it's not that it's a bad game.
Yep.
It's just it's nowhere near the game that they kind of purported it to being.
Yep. I when we talked about this, because this was also on my list, when we talked about this, it's just what I said. If that game was $20, I would have had no problem with it.
Yeah.
But as a $60 game, it just too padded out, not interesting enough. Whatever. You know? But see that's one of those blowback things where they hyped the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then what you got was like, oh well, this is nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
A game that also a bit overhyped.
Yeah.
Evolve.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's on my my disappointment list because it could not live up to that. Like, everyone was like, Evolve, it's going to be the shit, man. Everyone's going to be playing it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be the biggest thing in multiplayer video game history. It's going to be huge. And then, like, I played it, I was like, I don't give a shit.
I just didn't really like it all that much.
And not a lot of people are playing it. So
Yeah.
it just didn't seem to have the legs.
I mean, I wonder if there's probably still some people playing it, but
Maybe.
it just, I guess that the gameplay flow
Yeah.
never really did it for me. I don't know. It just never really did it for me. So.
Yeah. I will say, if I did order these in, like, least to worst, mind you, I've still got, like, a few more things to talk about here. This next thing that I've got listed here is probably the thing that would be, like, number one with a bullet.
Uh-huh.
Like, fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Oh, I forgot about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Because, goddamn, that game was fucking garbage.
Did you buy it?
No.
Okay.
I rented it.
Oh.
And it was, and I only rented it because I wanted to, because I really like Tony Hawk. I fucking love Tony Hawk 1, 2, 3, 4, Tony Hawk Underground, Tony Hawk Underground 2.
Yeah.
I fucking love those games. And just good God, like American Wasteland was the downhill of the Tony Hawk games. I feel like.
What about the ride?
Well, the ride was after everything after, I think, after Project 8 or American Wasteland or whatever the fuck it was.
Uh-huh.
Like everything after that was just kind of garbage.
Yeah.
And
Which seems weird because I would almost say that rather than do what they did, which was so much of a throwback to the original Tony Hawk, if they'd have made, and this may sound like a heresy to you and maybe a bunch of other Tony Hawk fans, but like I almost feel like Tony Hawk Pro Skater would have been better if they'd have veered more into like the Goat Simulator territory of just like, yeah, fuck it up, it's crazy and weird and strange, and
I would have been okay with that maybe.
Because I feel like Skate has done a better job over the years of like more simulation of like actual.
Well, and then Skate also has the meat stuff, the meat bag stuff, where basically you're every time you actually get points for like
breaking
up.
bones and
Mm-hmm. Like that stuff was that was actually fun.
Yeah,
things like that. So
I mean, it almost feels like Tony Hawk's just it's like a genre that should just be retired or completely rebooted from the ground up with an eye on modern video game aesthetics and what we think is fun now, and not just like, because I remember I had no problem in the Summer of Arcade when they had like Tony Hawk 2 HD,
it was not as good as the controls were not as good,
right?
Because they weren't as tight as they were on the original Tony Hawk 2,
right?
The HD stuff, like they were a little bit looser, and because it literally, I got to a point with Tony Hawk 1 and 2 where I can pick up a controller with those games, and I know how to do every move in the game because I just played them so much. The HD one, I was missing the timing on all of them all the time. And at first I thought, oh, well, maybe it's just time has gotten bad, and I've gone back and actually played like on an original PS1 or fucking N64 copy of the game, and timing is perfect still.
Okay.
So it's whoever they're getting to do those HD ports and everything since then is just just.
But
not.
I mean, at least they were like $20.
Yeah, no, I agree.
$15,
I agree. At least they were like $20.
So anyway,
surprisingly on this list, Saints Row: Gat Out of Hell.
I could see that.
And this was just because it wasn't the same team. Obviously, it wasn't the same Volition team.
Yeah,
it was it.
That's a good question. I can look
electricity
it
up. Or high voltage.
Yeah,
or something like that. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It didn't have the I like the re-release. I like the fact that if
high voltage software.
Yeah, I like the fact that if you bought the whatever, you got that. And
the president.
Yeah, the presidential edition. You got both Gat Out of Hell and 4, which I liked that, and I at least appreciated it for that. But just Gat Out of Hell itself was just such a kind of a letdown.
Yeah, it was. It felt like it was. No, I'm not going to say that. It felt like it was made by a team that didn't entirely understand the appeal of Saints Row 4.
Yeah.
It almost just and look at all this crazy. It's fucking Shakespeare. He's rapping. Yeah. I mean, there were some parts of it that were actually pretty cool. I like the
flying mechanic.
I like the flying mechanic. I like the little musical thing that just kind of came and then went and was gone. I'm not as big a fan of Johnny Gat as I think a lot of other people might be from the Saints Row series, where I would almost have rather had it be your main character
Well,
instead of Johnny Gat.
It's part of the reason the Saints Row games are great is because you're playing as this main character, and then Johnny Gat is great as a sidekick,
right,
or as backup.
Yeah,
and so, same with I don't want to play as Kinsey. I don't want to play as Johnny Gat. I don't want to play with any of those other characters.
Right.
I want to play as the character I created, interacting with those characters.
Yeah.
That's what I want, and it just felt like this game missed the point.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely since there was no new Saints Row game, and I think one of the reasons that it kind of stands out is because Saints Row 4 is incredible.
Yeah.
Between the Christmas DLC, what the Enter the Dominatrix stuff, which was that the one that ended with the dinosaur?
Yes.
That actually had everybody walk the dinosaur.
Yes. Yes.
There was some just Saints Row 4. Spoilers for Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4 had a Keith David and Roddy Piper They Live joke in it.
Yeah.
It had a Metal Gear lampoon section in it. It was amazing with Zinniac, and it was spoofing Mass Effect, for fuck's sake.
It spoofed itself.
Yeah.
At one point.
Oh, it was great.
It spoofed Saints Row 1 and 2.
Yep.
Which was amazing.
It was so meta that I have a hard time even figuring out where they're going to go from there.
Yeah.
And Gat Out of Hell had potential, but just ended up feeling more like it felt like an old expansion pack of something that was made not by the main developer but like a sub developer.
And that's what it was,
and that's exactly what it was. So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so it was very disappointing.
Yep.
And then the last thing on my disappointing, and this is not so much as it was disappointing as in itself, but the fact that I think this occurred after 2015, but Triad Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It was in beta.
Shut down.
It was in beta.
Yeah.
And it got shut down while in beta and pretty much got told, this is not coming back up. This is not leaving beta. This is not going to become an actual thing. We're just shutting it down. Thanks. Have a nice day. And it was just that was actually a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And I would have really liked to continue playing that.
Yeah. I mean,
and so that was a very big disappointment for me.
Mm-hmm. I can totally see that. Sleeping Dogs is a great game. I was going to say underrated, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many people are really into Sleeping Dogs. I remember I had a fun time with it. It had some problems, but it was also they had Nightmare at North Point and Year of the Snake and a bunch of different DLC packs that were legitimately kind of fun and interesting new takes on it, as opposed to just
I want them to do a Sleeping Dogs too.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I wasn't expecting Triad Wars to be Sleeping Dogs 2, but I was expecting it to be a nice little diversion until it came out.
Well, it's funny because when we played Dragon's Dogma last week, some people were in the comments saying that there's actually a Dragon's Dogma MMO that's only in Japan or something like that. And I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. And when we played Triad Wars, it seemed great.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about it was when we played it,
there was stuff missing.
Well, when we played it and we released the video, there were tons of people who were just like, "What the fuck?" There's a weird Sleeping Dogs MMO because they weren't telling anybody about it.
And what was it? I don't remember if it was during one of the press conferences of this E3. Like they did the sizzle reel for. I don't know if it was during one of the consoles or if it was during.
Square Enix
it
one.
might have even been the Square Enix one.
Yeah.
They did the sizzle reel, and Triad Wars was featured in that sizzle reel. And I remember people talking about it in the comments, going, "What the fuck? What's Triad Wars?" And then people on Rage Select were like, "Oh shit, it's that game that they played on Super Awesome Video Game Show."
Yeah, they did a real bad job.
And we were like, all right, cool. That means it's actually going to come out of beta. And then, no, they just shut it down.
Yeah, that was a real goddamn shame.
Yeah.
So,
but
all right, well, now we got the bad news out of the way.
Do you want to do like honorable mentions? Like these aren't like necessarily the best, but they're they're worth mentioning for various reasons.
Yeah, we'll build up to it.
We're building up to the best list. And again, these are this list is actually just as long as my best of list.
Okay.
But which is 10. So Hand of Fate. Not a great game. I will admit that beyond, like, it is a very repetitive game, but I thought it was ingenious, and I have sunk so many hours into it that I have to mention as an honorable mention because it's a great game.
Ooh, can I go? Can I put something in?
Sure.
I realized that when I talked about my favorite games of 2015, I forgot something.
Yeah.
Kerbal Goddamn Space Program came out into it was been in early access forever, right?
Yes, it has.
But it finally released in 2015. I finally played it in 2015, and I got fucking obsessed with it in 2015. That game is awesome.
Yes.
Anyway, so
another game that I played a lot of that is not necessarily a good game, Mad Max.
Yeah.
Again, you'll notice a theme going here. Games I've played a lot of that I acknowledge are not the best of games, but I put so many hours into them that I think Mad Max. Beside the fact that I know you didn't really like the driving, the combat is just your basic Arkham Assassin's Creed fighting. So it was serviceable.
Right.
I do think it got a little long in the tooth in far of how much you had to do to get further in the story, but. I enjoyed it. There was something about driving around and actually just fucking shit up, and also using I really got engrossed into taking pictures in game, taking screenshots in game with it. Like
I know. Like your banner picture on your Facebook page is still like a shot from.
Yeah, it's like I just really got obsessed with that because it has a weird beauty to it. Yeah, like that dirty. Just that ugly, beautiful kind of look to it.
Sure.
That I just really kind of fell in love with.
Oh, there you
go. Rock Band 4. Yeah. Obviously. I don't think it's great because it's just Rock Band.
It's just more Rock Band.
Yeah, it's just more Rock Band.
Speaking of which, there was a story I didn't tell this week where they finally got the Rock Band 1 export done for Rock Band 4.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So people who purchased that can download it now.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I kind of put on my honorable mentions because it's a step in the right direction. Yeah. It's not perfect, but it is a fun game, and it is a step in that right direction for a franchise that has been heading into the wrong direction for a little bit now.
Yeah, I actually put that on one of my biggest disappointments of last year because it was just so much more Assassin's Creed, in my opinion. But I also decided. Just as a side note, we are not covering the third Assassin's Creed Chronicles game because those games I don't like them. Like at this point, I've decided I do not like them.
Oh,
Sam,
the first one I thought you did like.
I thought I did too, and then I went back to try to play it, and I realized that it couldn't hold my interest for more than about 20 minutes at a time.
Okay,
like I could force it for when we're doing recordings, but like no, I just don't give a shit.
Okay,
Assassin's Creed has burned me up on Assassin's Creed.
All right,
I need time away from Assassin's Creed in order to get excited again about Assassin's Creed.
Okay. Another honorable mention is going to be an iOS game, actually.
Okay.
WWE Immortals.
Okay.
It's a free-to-play game. It's a WWE game. It's a fighting game.
Mortal Kombat.
Yes, it is.
Engine.
And it's awesome. And I wish they would make an actual full-fledged console, like just basically Mortal Kombat with its own story mode.
Right.
But WWE, because fucking hell is it fun.
Yeah.
I still play it.
I know. You were playing it like obsessively. It was like every time that I would leave you alone for 5 minutes.
Well, it's my boring, I've got a few minutes to kill. I've got 10, 15 minutes to kill, and all I've got is my iPad. So I'm going to sit here and play this.
I've been trying out a bunch of phone games recently, and that Star Wars one is really the only one that has really captured my interest.
But yeah, WWE Immortals is one of those games where I'm like, they need a full-fledged console version of this because I would play the shit out of it.
Yeah. Get NetherRealm to make a...
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea because it seems like I mean, you know more about this than I do, but it seems like Yuke's is just making kind of the same game, over and over and
They're
over.
They're making a simulation game, and I want a game with those characters that's a little bit more fun.
Yeah, would you like to see the Undertaker do a fatality? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got like their special wrestling moves. So if you took them
finisher.
and let Ed Boon make them into like
they did in this game.
No.
They totally have those finishing moves and
they
things like
tear
that.
people's heads off and it's all blood.
No.
Aww.
It's cartoony. They don't kill anybody or anything like that, but it's very cartoony. But it's like accentuated stuff like the Undertaker picks you up and does a tombstone pile driver, and when you hit the ground, your body then jumps up and falls into a casket that then burns into flames.
There you go.
Bursts into flames.
Okay.
So it's their finishing moves. Or John Cena does the 5-knuckle shuffle, and as he instead of where he's supposed to, when he jumps up into orbit and then comes down.
Okay.
It's crazy,
Sounds
stuff.
great. I mean,
it's fucking great.
I mean, having like I when we play the wrestling games on the dojo, like I kind of get into them, but I would probably play a game that was like based on the Mortal Kombat engine way more than that.
Yeah.
Because it would be like, yes, I would like to do those things that you were just described.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Tales from the Borderlands. The only reason it's honorable mention, it's not top of the game because I'm done with. I don't care. I'm done with Telltale games.
Mm-hmm.
This one was good enough to be an honorable mention, but
Did you play all the way through it?
no,
Okay.
because like I said, I started playing it and I was like, well, I'm gonna wait till it's all out, and I just forgot it existed.
Same thing. Yep.
Yeah. So, but it is what I have played is good enough that I'm gonna go back to it at some point and it is good enough to mention because it is good.
Right.
Chroma Squad, I really like. Still, it's a tactical game. It's played it on Super Awesome Video Game Show with Matt Frank. It's the only one you're not on.
Yeah, only video of all of last year that I didn't have a part of.
Yeah, that you weren't part of. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I really like that game. It's got some issues as well that keep it from being on my best of list. But I thought it was a really compelling tactical RPG with a Sentai, a movie, a TV studio management thing put over it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun especially if you like Power Rangers and Sentai and stuff like that. It's filled with references to God knows everything.
Okay.
Armello, which is another game we played on Super Awesome Video Game Show, was a board game, fucking beautiful as hell.
Yeah.
As good as it is though, I think it is just a really beautifully rendered and animated board game that I can't put it on my there's not more to it that I would put it on my best of list.
It's not the sort of thing that you play over and over again for an extended period of time.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
And then Rocket League for obvious reasons.
Okay. Do you
phenomenal.
play Rocket League?
I have played it a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not super obsessed with it like some people, but I mean the fact that it's honorable mention just for its sheer popularity.
Yeah, boy, I still don't really. I mean, I understand that. I played it and it was fun, but again, it's weird how there's some people that are such fans of it, and it seems like the people that are fans of it are so emphatic that you play it.
Yeah.
I want you to play it, and I have a really hard time trying to explain to people I have played it. It seems fun. I have really no interest in ever playing it ever again. Not to say it's a bad game. You play it, you're fine. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that play the shit out of it.
But also, again, it goes back to the reason it's on my honorable mention is because it's who thought that a game where you're driving cars around, knocking a ball around on a soccer field would be that as fun as it is.
Yeah.
Because it is fun. Because when you're playing it, you're having fun.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's not best of.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Another game, and then you're going to, when I say this game's name, you're going to be like, why is that not on your best of? And it's because I was torn between whether it should go on best of or worst of.
Okay.
Batman Arkham Knight.
Some people had some serious problems. I think that was number 4 or 5 on my list of my favorite games from last year.
Because I really like the game.
Yep.
I like the game. I think it is one of the better games of last year.
Mm-hmm.
However, given the issues with the PC version of it, given the kind of the crap DLC it had.
Yep. Yep.
And also, I don't think the car parts were all that great.
Nope.
As great, so great that it needed to be there. It didn't.
Oh, it had a lot of problems. I mean, there were times where that whole you've got to shake dudes down on the street to figure out Riddler stuff.
Yeah.
Or when you're looking for the fifth fireman who's in trouble and like you just can't fucking find them. You know, you're just driving in circles trying to find stuff. There were a lot of problems with that game, but I really liked the rest. I liked the rest of it so much.
Yeah, no, and that's why it's on my honorable mentions because it was good. Like it's definitely worth. Like my honorable mentions are these are not the best, but these are the ones worth playing.
Right.
From 2015. That's kind of the way you can look at this list that I'm talking about right now. Is not the best, but definitely worth playing at least once.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
And that's why Batman Arkham Knight is on that because the rest of it is so good that it's worth playing.
Right.
Just wish the DLC didn't suck as much as it does.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy how much. I think that. Well, let's see. Did Arkham City have DLC? I think I've gone over this before. What was it? Was it just challenge rooms and costumes?
It was a lot of.
Was there any story DLC for Arkham City?
I don't think there was. Or no, there was. There was the Harley Quinn one that took place.
Oh yeah.
Harley's Revenge.
Yeah, where you played as Robin.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never actually played it, but I know it came out.
Oh no, I played it. It was good. It was fun. Okay. Yeah, it just I feel like that game, like if you were going to do it to me it just comes down to a question of what you're into those games for.
Yeah.
And I'm into the games for the story. I could care less about racetracks, costumes, and fight challenge maps. And they keep putting those in there.
Yeah, that was most of the DLC for City was just challenge, fight challenge maps and costumes for those characters.
Mm-hmm. So, but I understand. Yeah, I gotcha.
So, but that was my honorable mentions. Games worth playing that may not have been the best. But then I have a list of the best.
All right, let's go to the
top
best.
10.
Top 10 in
Not
no order.
In no particular order.
In no particular order.
I want to start at the bottom of this list because
Johnson can't be bothered to fucking put stuff in.
No, you put it in your own order.
You put it in your own order. You decide.
That way, I'm not saying something is the best game ever, and people can go online and say, "John, you're a fucking idiot."
Oh, you're smart, John.
Yeah, so I'm saying these are the best games. These are the top 10 best games in no particular order.
Okay,
you can make up your mind on which ones are the number one.
Okay,
Until Dawn is on this list.
Okay,
because I really like this game.
Yeah,
I do think it improved on the Quantic Dream, what David Cage has been trying to do with his games for so long, in a lot of really good ways.
Kind of quick time events, story structure.
And I felt like, yes, it is a cliched-ridden horror movie.
Sure.
But that's the point.
Yeah, I don't think anybody... is there anybody out there who's really miffed about that particular fact?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like what the game was sold to me as is exactly what it is.
Okay.
It met every expectation or every promise that it had made to me, and some. Okay. So therefore, yeah, it's on my top 10 because I think it was one of the better games this year.
Okay.
And I bring that up first because if you wanted to put this in somewhere, that's probably somewhere towards the later, the bottom half, but it's on there.
I mean, the only reason that game didn't make it in any of my lists was because I did not play it because the unfortunate fact of the matter is that it came out the same week as fucking Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Until Dawn. I
played through it twice during the time that you were playing Metal Gear Solid 5.
Brian and I are playing through it for Sequential Saturday, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to see, and it's great because it's the first time almost ever that we're playing a game for Sequential Saturday that I have literally not actually played before.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just bad timing. Bad timing all around.
Yeah. Helldivers.
Helldivers.
Yes.
Go for Super Earth.
Yes, because I mean this one again. This one kind of comes off because it felt original. Like it was just, and maybe the gameplay is not super original, but it felt like a game that I hadn't seen a million times before.
I think that it was incredibly smart. You look at it from a top-down shooter perspective, and that could be very cliched. But then they added so many things like the friendly fire mechanics and the getting down and the button presses for calling stuff, cooldowns,
and the fact that you could accidentally kill your friends, and the fact that you're playing the story mode is also online as well, online progressive as well,
and that it's constant.
Yeah, so once the game ends, it starts over again from the beginning, so that even if you come in, when Super Earth is about to dominate the entire galaxy or whatever,
right.
As soon as it ends, you can start over from the beginning and get all the stuff that you missed the first time around.
Yeah, motherfucking Helldivers, man.
And they even had an expansion for it, which I have not played.
Perfect couch co-op.
Yeah.
Perfect thing to play.
Great.
Just a bunch of people sitting on the couch.
Yeah. There was that one Sunday streaming that was just me and Amanda playing Helldivers with the rage selectors because you were sick or something.
Okay.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was trying to think, why wasn't I on there? Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
you just came in. I think you were sick. I think you weren't feeling well. Like you were like totally under the weather and couldn't even like looking at a TV screen hurt your face.
Or did I get pissed? Did I get pissed off?
No. You were sick. Like I specifically remember you were not feeling well.
Okay.
And you were like, it's like, okay, I'm either going to cancel Sunday streaming or you two have to do it without you. And we're like, we'll do it without you. Fuck that.
Yeah.
We don't need you, Jeff. We can do the show without you.
I feel like there was more than one thing: Battlefield Hardline and Helldivers. Okay.
What was Battlefield?
No, that was a Sunday streaming
in
March of last year.
That's right. Yeah, because we played Battlefield Hardline first, and you kept coming in going, play a different map. And just no one was having fun with it. And I just looked at you. Can we play something else, man?
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't fucking care. What do you want to play? And we're like, Helldivers. And you're like, all right, cool. Hold on.
You do whatever you want to, John. Okay, yeah, but Helldivers. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Helldivers is definitely on that list.
Yeah, Brian and I had a lot of fun with Helldivers.
Lego Dimensions.
Fucking on my list too.
Yeah, this is actually if I were to lower this list to 5, this would be in my top 5.
Yeah.
It's fun as hell. The fact that the actual level sets aren't just like tiny, like you have the bigger expansions that come with like their own story mode,
right,
their own mission, and they're not like tiny little missions. They're actually like pretty big stories.
Yeah.
Elements.
Yeah.
That are just add-ons for. I mean, like I said, apparently they just announced that the Ghostbusters add-on that comes with Venkman, I want to say the Ecto-1, and then I think it's Slimer or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Apparently, it's the entirety of Ghostbusters, the movie. The first Ghostbusters. Like, you basically are playing through the Ghostbusters movie.
I mean,
in the Lego style.
That's the thing, is that if you would have told me that Lego Dimensions would be one of the most fun games that I played last year, I would have been like, you're a crazy person. That game, did you finish the campaign for
I have not
Dimensions?
yet, because that was one of those that I was playing it, and I got towards the end, and then a bunch of other stuff came out, so I had to stop. And
there's an honest-to-God subplot in
it.
that game with GLaDOS and Batman.
Yeah.
Fucking, that deserves my list.
Yeah,
it's
great. It literally is great.
Yep.
I fucking love Lego Dimensions so much. Mortal Kombat X.
Yep.
It was a great fighter. And the fact that it had longevity, and I felt like I played it for a long time.
Yep.
And it was only, recently that I've stopped playing it, which I probably will go back once, more of the DLC comes out. But yeah, it's great. Great game. Best fighting game of 2015, in my opinion.
What other fighting games came out last
I don't
year?
know.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure other stuff is
on the PS4. There was. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'm sure there was like a couple.
Yeah.
And this one, the next one I'm going to mention is actually a game that I'm currently in the middle of playing, and I'm actually about 60% through with it.
Okay.
And I'm actually pretty happy with it enough to put it on this list. But Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Is definitely on this list.
Okay.
It's everything I liked about the first Tomb Raider game, and so far none of the stuff I hated.
Okay.
Like, and so I mean, it's also one of those things where I was like, if they release a sequel, I hope they do more of this, or I hope instead of doing this, they do this. And it's like they did all of that.
They were reading your dream journal.
They were reading my dream journal. They've bugged my house, and are listening to everything that I say.
Good.
Which is why I record the podcast over here, so they can't steal my ideas.
Right.
Unless they listen to the podcast.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, I do sell Square Enix your ideas.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense as well.
Before, though.
No,
right?
I didn't know that.
Okay. All right.
But
I need to go back and play that.
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot of fun, and the story is really good because it builds on the story of the first game in very interesting ways, and also delves with her father in the story in interesting ways as well, in ways I don't remember them doing in the original games. Maybe they did, but I feel like it's just every twist and turn that's happening in this game, I'm like, oh man, like even if I see it coming, I'm just like, oh man, this is really well executed,
cool
in every way, and it's great. It's a good, as far as getting an exclusive title, for the Xbox One, even if it's a timed exclusive, that was a smart for them.
Okay.
What was not smart is when they released it,
right?
Because Fallout 4 and the new Call of Duty,
and
like
Battlefront, and
and Battlefront just got lost in the shuffle. Like I'm not even didn't even start playing it until recently, until after the Christmas break.
Yeah.
But it's a great game. Another game I'm gonna list on there, Star Wars Battlefront.
Okay.
It's on my best of the year.
Yeah. I've loved the hell out of that game.
Yeah, I've loved the hell out of it. I'm surprised I'm saying this for an online multiplayer only shooter, because I generally don't like those.
Yep.
And the fact that I've had as much fun playing it, mind you, because of it's not my type of game. It's like one of those games where I'm like, I got my fill of it, and I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
But if someone said, hey, you want to play Battlefront, I'd be like, yeah, I'll play it. Like, I'm not gonna, like, unless I have something better to do, I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna enjoy playing it because and that takes a lot to do that with multiplayer shooters nowadays.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Halo 5 Guardians.
Okay.
Is on my list.
Did you manage to finish that?
I'm one level away from beating it.
Okay.
I started playing Tomb Raider because that was the game I really wanted to play.
Right.
And I borrowed Halo 5 from you because I couldn't find. Because we couldn't find Tomb Raider at the time.
It was in my Xbox since we played it, basically.
Yeah. And so I started playing Halo 5, and I'm like one level from beating it. But it's more of Halo. It's a very tightly made game.
Real fun.
I think I did not really care for Halo 4 at all. Like I couldn't, like, I don't know what it was. Halo 1, 2, and 3, I loved. I love playing them. I'm engrossed in the gameplay. I'm engrossed in the story. Halo 4, just for whatever reason, I just could not play that game.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know why. Like, I got maybe halfway through it, and I was like, I don't fucking care, and walked away from it. Halo 5, right back in the saddle of everything I wanted it to be. I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying the story that's going on. I'm liking the characters that I'm interacting with in the game.
Okay.
I think they did a lot. They changed it just, the dynamic of the gameplay. I mean, it's still walk into a room, shoot a bunch of guys, press a button, walk into another room, shoot a bunch of guys, press a button.
Sure.
Over and over and over again, like every other Halo game.
It seemed, I mean, I can definitely say that the Halo 4 campaign seemed like there was more kind of repetitive filler, it almost felt like. Like, there was that one mission where you were driving like it was like a giant vehicle around.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like a big pickup truck almost, with a bunch of guns on it. That was cool. But then I remember parts of it where you're like getting into like the precursor base or whatever, where it's just like, oh, look, another wave of robots.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, this is more of that too.
Sure.
But I felt like with the dynamic of the characters that you're playing with, now instead of when you do online co-op, instead of it being 4 Master Chiefs running around, it's Master Chief and 3 other characters that have their own dialogue, and the characters are interacting with each other as you're playing.
Right.
I really liked the dynamic of that, and I thought it was really well done.
Cool.
So it's definitely a reason why it. Then Bloodborne. Bloodborne is definitely on my game of the year list.
Have you have you played any more Bloodborne?
I played a little bit here and there. I mean, I'm still just goofing around. Like, I'm not, and again, that's the reason it's on my list, is because this is a game that I'm not great at.
Yeah.
I make my progression is very, very slow. And I'm sure if I actually hunkered down and sat down and like, I'm going to play this serious for serious.
Yeah.
Like, then I would definitely get better and I'd be able to go through it. But I'm kind of just playing it every now and then, kind of popping it in and play it. And I'm not really concerned with moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned with playing the game, which I'm really enjoying. I really love the mechanics and everything about that game. Like, I can be making no progress.
Yeah.
And Amanda's watched me play it. She's like, "You're not making any progress. This is very frustrating to watch."
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not frustrated.
I'm not streaming this for you.
It's like I'm not. It's like I'm playing the game and I'm having fun playing it. Yeah, I'm dying a lot. Yeah, I'm in the same area repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm enjoying it. And again, it's another one of those things where if I can do that, and still have fun, that's got to be a good game.
Sure. Actually, yesterday, just I decided I've tried this a few times, but I've aborted it several times. I wanted to make a test build for an arcane build.
Oh yeah.
Now that the Moonlight Greatsword is in the game with the DLC, and it was funny because I went through the all of Yharnam, all of Central Yharnam, and all of Old Yharnam. And then picked up the stuff to get the Ludwig big sword until I can get to the Moonlight Greatsword. It was like an hour, I think, to go through like the first 2 areas of the game because I played them so many freaking times.
Yeah,
that it was just like, man, I have Yharnam, like Central Yharnam, down to a science.
Yeah,
like just bam, 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 done.
I have everything up to Gascoigne down to a science.
Yeah,
like that's nothing. Like that entire area is just like everything is my bitch.
Yeah,
in that world. Up to Gascoigne. I still have trouble with Gascoigne. I've actually like started a new character and tried to play it again.
It's funny because of the Old Hunters expansion, I actually managed to summon 2 actual humans into fighting the Bloodstarved beast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. These 2 people, like, I was trying to, like, they were holding DLC weapons, and they were obviously part of the Hunter Covenant that lets you, like, call people, or not the Hunter Covenant, the League, and they came in to help out. They killed the Bloodstarved beast in, like, I've never seen it happen that fast before. It was like I was trying to line up one hit, and his health was down by half before I could even get a hit in, and then it was just like, whack, dead. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just saying, Bloodborne. It's a great fucking game.
Loved it. My game of the year last year. Sorry that every year it's got to be the From Software Souls game, people, but that's just what it is.
And the final game on my list,
yes,
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker. Okay.
That was ingenious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, it's a not as intricate Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
But it's some of the shit that people make in there and the ability of the things you can do, even with the limit. And I think the limitations of what you can and can't do actually help.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's also something that's interesting. But I have fun playing levels that are made in the game. I have fun downloading levels from other people and playing them. I have fun making the levels, though I haven't made a whole lot. But it's a really fun game. And in all honesty, I did not think that having a game where I basically can, where it's a lot of people criticize Nintendo basically be like, oh, well, now they just don't want us to they don't want to make games. It's just like, here, make your own fucking game.
Yeah.
And that's not the mentality that they actually use, but that was a lot of the reaction of a lot of people. But goddamn, was it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better games to get for the Wii U.
I know that there's kind of a subculture of stuff down there for Wii for that game that I never really got into because I kind of just gave it to you directly after I was done with it. And was like, there you go, bada bing, bada boom.
And I've played a lot.
Yeah, last year was a good year for Nintendo, man. Yeah. Splatoon was fucking awesome.
Only reason Splatoon wasn't on my list is I've never played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never played it.
Oh, man.
Like, there's, and that's another thing I want to state with this. There are probably a lot of games you're going like, John, why isn't Metal Gear on your list? Or why isn't this game on your list? Or John, why isn't such and such game?
Right.
If it's not on my list, most likely I never played it.
Okay.
That's really the big thing I could say. If I never played it, I'm not going to put it on my list.
Sure, absolutely. It's one of the reasons why Until Dawn wasn't on my list, right?
Yeah.
Was because I just didn't play it. Or Rise of the Tomb Raider, for that matter.
So,
I don't even know if it would be.
But yeah, that's my best of, honorable mention, and really disappointed by.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, we're running out of time here, but we got time for a couple of podcast questions, so why don't we just jump in, do a few questions, and then wrap it up. Our first question comes in from our good buddy Michael Maitrejean, who says, "What up, Song Lords?" Is that what we are now?
I thought we were Dong Lords.
We're worshiping Songocles.
Does it say song?
It says song. Huh. It might just be a typo. Anyway, so as we all know by now, none of us won the $1.6 billion lottery. I had been spending so much time thinking of what I do with the money, buy houses for me and the people in my life that need it, donate to charities, travel, and best of all, donate to and party with Rage Select and One of Us crew. My question is, what would you do with all that sweet money? Like, would you hire a lot of people to make your job easier, or maybe make a genetic hybrid of a woman and a mantis to create Jeff's dream girl? Fucking goddamn. Your loyal follower, Michael Maitrejean. P.S. Can you please tell Matt, Frank, those Oregon militia fuckers don't represent us normal Oregonians. John, what would you do with $1.6 billion?
It's funny you ask.
Okay.
Because no, I didn't win. It's funny you should ask because I remained no, I didn't win or anything like that. But no, we actually thought about this. Or I actually thought about this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, certain money would go to family and stuff like that because, that's what you do.
Sure.
Nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters and things like that.
Sure.
I'd probably buy a house, nothing too expensive or extravagant, just moderate house.
Yeah.
And I'd probably talk to you and say, "Hey, let's take a portion of this and let's put it into some Rage Select.
Sure.
Let's fucking up our game.
Yeah.
Let's do everything we wanted to do but couldn't do because we didn't have the money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then build an empire.
Or just fuck around until we're too old. Either way. At this point, what do you care,
Yeah, no, I know. But, I mean, it's like, let's turn this into an actual profitable business.
Sure.
Let's use this to get us to where we want to be and to pay for the stuff that we need to pay for it with and then fucking do everything that we can't.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that money for reals.
Sure.
That would literally be what I would do with it. That was the one thing I actually thought about it. Outside of that. And then, just sit around and play video games and shit. Just dick around until I grow old.
Yeah.
Probably get the only reason I'd want to make, come to you and be like, here, I'm going to give you this money, but we got to make Rage Select profitable, actually pay people properly.
I'd be like, hey, John, why don't you take that money and give it to somebody who knows how to run a company who can pay me money out of it?
Let's someone who can help.
A person who knows what the fuck they're doing. And I can go back to being an employee of whoever that person is.
Yes, exactly. It would basically be like, let's actually turn this into a profitable thing where people are getting paid to do work. And not saying that some of us aren't paid already, but a lot of it is pro bono.
Yes.
Actually pay people to do stuff that we don't want to do, and then so that you can focus on just making the fucking content, and I can focus on making fucking content, and actually just get a steady income of money so you don't have to rely on that money, and stuff like that. So I mean, that was legitimately what I had thought about doing.
I think a lot of the similar things that you said, I would probably do if I had that. I mean, first off, my mom, my dad, and my sister, and anybody of my cousins or whatever, anybody who needs a hand gets it. Basically, probably the same for all my friends. I actually feel like it would be interesting to maybe set up like some kind of foundation that was like a philanthropy organization that was specifically for like, because I have so many friends like Jason and Allison and you and Amanda and stuff like that, to be like here's an example, Amanda. Can I give you a grant to cover your expenses for the next year so that you can make puppets? Because you want to make puppets. But your time that you can make puppets is interrupted by having to go to these horseshit jobs that start at 4 o'clock in the morning. So what if I was to pay your rent for a year and give you a certain amount of money? Not like a bajillion dollars, right?
Yeah.
But like more than you're making right now, enough that you can live comfortably so that you can aspire to do what you want. Or, Allison, you want to do this project. Why don't I give you the money so that you don't have to deal with not doing that project or not being able to do this thing because it's too expensive? Because it's almost like I have so many friends that seem like they're super creative and they've got these great ideas, but the thing that they're lacking is the freedom to be able to do that because they've got all the other things in their life that they have to do first. Right?
Rent or mortgage
or even beyond that, like
stuff that requires money.
I would love to do this, but I don't have a good camera to be able to do it. And be like, oh, do you need, maybe we'll buy a couple $2,000 cameras and be like, hey, who needs the camera this week, right? And and then obviously the first thing, of course, is the exact same thing that you're saying, where you take a big chunk of this money, go find somebody who's a lot smarter than me, and be like, hey, do you know how to run a business? So here's the thing. I'm going to give you all this money. Make my business a thing and not like me. I don't want to have to. No, not me. Merch, hire people, pay them money. I don't want to be slaving over a hot editing bay until 7 o'clock in the morning. I just want to be able to sit on my golden podcasting throne, or not just on my golden podcasting throne, on my dirty podcasting couch, and make things.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I would probably do almost immediately, John, this becomes a horrifying shock to the fans of Rage Select, is I would love to get enough people in here so that I could be like, hey, you know what's going to happen in February? I'm going to give the keys to the website to everybody else, and I'm going to fucking go to a tropical island and lay on a beach and get tan and drink island drinks for a month. Right?
Yeah.
Just not do this for a little bit in order to just clear my slate.
Well, again, pie dream thing, I would, the idea would be like, all right, I'm going to go buy an office somewhere.
Yeah.
We're going to buy enough computers to have people who have edits, to have editing bays.
Yeah.
To, enough cameras to do what we need to do.
Buy Pixar, and we're going to retask them.
And then we're going to hire some people.
But make intros and outros for our shitty internet videos. Or take our $1.6 billion, buy Pixar out from Disney, and then all those people are still going to have jobs, but their only purpose is going to be 90-second intros and outros
Oh, jeez.
Dumb fucking Let's Play
I'm just saying, that way you can actually, that way if you wanted to say, hey, I'm going to go take a month-long break, take some of this money that you've given me and go, sit on a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
That way, we don't have to come to your house. We actually have a place to work at.
Yeah.
And have the keys to everything.
Sure. I would love to have a place to work at where we have keys and everything. Also, I'd probably buy a bigger house and get like 4 more dogs because I like dogs.
Yeah, we'd probably have a lot of dogs too.
All right, next comes in from Bonerville.
What's up, Bonerville?
Who says, Jeff and John praise the Dong Lord and the white creamy goop that weeps out. We see some mobile or tablet integration into games these days, but I feel we are on the precipice of this technological integration. When do you think we will see games that you must have a mobile or tablet to play, or if you don't, you are lacking an important gameplay element? I feel the people who are playing console and computer games have a tablet or phone. What are some cool features you would like to see? For example, the Jackbox Party Pack are using phone or tablet as a map, but more in-depth or less. We don't know as it hasn't been done before. Anyway, thanks for all the content. Loyal patron, Bonerville. Just kidding. Representing Australia, Alex J. Bonerville or whatever. Man, imagine if your last name was Bonerville. It's just like your friends.
Bonerville.
It would give you just infinite amounts of shit. They'd be like, "Hey, Bonerville, come over here. We're gonna go watch a movie." Oh, hey, this is my friend. His name's Bonerville, and be like, "What?" Anyway, so Alex, I have to say that I wholeheartedly disagree with your idea of integrating tablets and mobile things into video games, because we've seen that happen with the Wii U, and as I've talked about before, it really fucks up my immersion into video games to have to take my eyes off of the screen that I'm playing. You get the tunnel vision, playing a video game, staring at the screen, and having to break line of sight to look at another device really kind of messes with my immersion into those games.
Well, I will say there are also there are games that do that. What he's talking about.
Yeah.
Dance Central, for example, if you don't have a Kinect or if you don't have the PlayStation Move, you can connect a phone like through their service and use that, and it uses the accelerometer and everything in your phone to do everything that you would do if you had a Kinect or a PlayStation Move or iToy or whatever.
Oh, well, Metal Gear had a Metal Gear. I don't know if 5 had it, but I know that Ground Zeroes had an app that I actually looked at where you could look at the map, mark stuff on the map, like change inventory stuff. You could do all this stuff from your phone.
Well, even Fallout 4 has that capability.
Yeah.
With the companion app where you can make it where it looks like it's basically the
Pip-Boy. Yeah.
It's the Pip-Boy screen, and you can control stuff without ever having to go into the Pip-Boy menu. But I also feel that breaks the game because you go to the Pip-Boy menu to pause the game,
right?
And to take that out of it.
Does it take it out of it? It's not an option anymore.
No, it doesn't like take it out of it. I mean, but it's like if you're using the phone or a tablet to do that stuff,
right? It
doesn't pause the game.
Okay.
And you have no other way to like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
It removes that one element of the gameplay. But also, if I remember correctly, I want to say SingStar on the PlayStation also did a thing where if you don't have a microphone, you can use your cell phone.
You can sing into your cell phone.
Yeah, you sing into your cell phone and it registers it or something like that. I vaguely remember something like that. To which I was just like, that's stupid. I'll get the microphone.
I don't know that integration stuff, because I think that one of the problems that we have, in the iOS infrastructure environment, right?
Yeah,
phones are pretty uniform, but when you're not in the iOS environment, like my phone, I've been playing some games on my phone, and some of those games work great. Some of them run like shit because it's not the same. Like they're programmed and they work on different layouts, but they are obviously not. I mean, there's obviously, my phone is a little old, and so when I load up the latest like 3D game on it, sometimes it's a little stuttery. Like I tried playing that Marvel one where you're attacking it's in the cosmos, but I couldn't figure out how to turn off notifications, so I uninstalled it. But I think that the main issue just comes from a conceptual thing of when we watch a movie, when we watch a TV show, when we play a video game, or at least me, this could be just an old people thing that you fucking teenagers are totally don't care. I like to focus in on that thing. That's what gives me the sense of immersion.
Yeah.
So, like, when I'm watching a TV show, I'm watching that TV show. I'm not dicking with my phone and trying to watch TV show at the same time. Unless I'm bored.
Same way.
Yeah. Like, I've plowed through a few episodes of The Shield where I'm just like, it's Mackie. He's a bad cop. All right, fine. Boop, 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 boop.
I've done that a few times watching Monday Night Raw, where I've just like brought out my tablet and started playing a game on my tablet.
Yeah, you can just listen. If something sounds like it's happening, you can look up and be like, oh, shit. But I think that especially when you're looking at the interactive portion of it, I just think it works better when you can focus all of your attention on this one input set as opposed to having to break it to look at other stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Wii U works great for things like that. Tablet works great for things like Mario Maker, right?
Yeah.
Where it's perfect for input if you've got a kind of an input that is easier to do with a touchscreen instead of with the controller. But for the most part, I feel like we've come far enough that, say like the Pip-Boy app, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason. We've got so many different applications of great UI and great like user interface technology for video games that if it's clunky enough that you would want it on a separate device, I almost feel like that's almost a failure of the video game because you could have made something that was easier to access.
I don't think we'll ever get a place where they're like, oh, you're required to do this, and if you're not using this, you're missing out on like half the game. I don't think we're gonna see that.
I mean, there's I guess like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Yeah.
Like that's a great example, but that's like that's an asynchronous type of thing. Like I'm trying to think of what would make like Bloodborne, right? Like what would I add into Bloodborne being able to use my phone for that would be interesting? Yeah. And I don't know.
I think the most we're going to ever see is something like you said with the Metal Gear Solid and also with the Fallout 4 where it gives you the ability to do stuff that may not have been, but you're not missing out on a part of the game.
Right.
By not having it. Like I think that's going to be the most you're ever going to see.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, what I've been playing off and on this entire time I've been sitting here is the companion app for Battlefront. It actually has its own game that's part of it, and you earn credits to be able to spend in the game on packs and upgrades.
I mean, that's kind of cool. Companion app stuff is fine. Like if there's a way to play, if you have a company that makes like a legitimately good like if there was a Bloodborne phone game that was like some kind of card-based thing where I could earn like blood echoes, right?
Yeah.
Where I could like grind for blood echoes, but not inside of the game.
Yeah.
Or grind for like blood vials or equipment or something just by doing a daily thing on my phone. I could get into that, right? A way to continue to play the game even when you're not sitting in front of it.
Yeah.
I can deal with that. But I don't know if it's the sort of thing where I don't have any real interest in playing the game and doing something on my phone at the same time.
No, I get it.
Mostly because I'm not good. My phone, being me, my phone is still it's like it's a separate device.
Yeah.
It's not. My phone doesn't feel like an extension of me, so it feels like I'm either looking at my phone or I'm looking at my television. I can't really split my attention between both at the same time. All right, this next one comes in from Katie J, who says, "Dear Jeff and John." Actually, she says, "Dear Jeff and the crew of the Starship Dongacles." I like that. She says, "I just heard you talk about Penn & Teller's Desert Bus game." That was last week. They're actually remaking Desert Bus for VR, right?
Yes.
The concept for that game was to protest against politicians who claimed video games are too violent. No video game has real violence. It's always fantasy. But with this in mind, they set out to create a as real as possible game with absolutely no fantasy, violence, or action, or fun, or anything you get in a traditional video game. Real life is mostly boring with nothing happening most days. My question for you guys is, are there any protests that you find funny or amusing, whether you agreed with it or not? Thank you for, as always, for the podcast and Let's Plays, and have a wonderful day, Katie J. I'm going to say video game protests. I thought that as much as I thought that it was kind of a dick move and that people overreacted a little bit, even though I did too at the time, I thought that sending BioWare all of those green, blue, and red cupcakes to protest the Mass Effect 3 ending choice.
Oh.
They just sent them like boxes and boxes and boxes of cupcakes with the different colors for the different lasers at the end of the game.
I didn't
right?
even hear about that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I like anytime an MMO has a big protest. Like I remember that Eve has had a few places where everybody will drive their ship into an area that is important to the game to essentially stress the server so hard that people can't play the game. Like there have been some places where they'll take a trade hub or something, and then a bunch of people will come there. Like thousands of ships will all go there to where if you try to go to that area, it literally just starts to chug the game to a halt so that it's hard to get anything done in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I can't really think of any protests. I mean, I don't like I said, I don't really know what you would classify as a protest. I mean, I don't know if I feel like that the Desert Bus game was an actual protest and more of just of them going, okay, if that's what you think, let's make this thing. And exactly what you're saying to make. Oh, guess what? It's the most boring fucking video game that no one wants to play ever in the existence of anything.
Yeah.
And then some people found a way to make a charity off of it.
Yeah. It's so weird that game has longevity as a fundraising endurance test type of thing.
Yeah.
It's so weird that Desert Bus is still a freaking thing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I've never actually played it. Have you played it?
No. It's
because you need. I mean, I guess you can get like an emulator or something for it.
Yeah.
Because that game wasn't actually ever totally released.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know that there's that recent. It's not really a protest, but there's that recent petition to try to get PG-13 version of Deadpool made, which is stupid.
Do you know who did that?
Grace Randolph?
Yep.
Yeah. Person who should know better and was actually fired from Marvel because of certain comments that she made.
Was she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She tried to claim that they would never give a female writer an important character and was very public about it after she was just given a book. Mm-hmm. And it was part of one of those things where they gave her a very low tier, not really important book because they were testing her out with a bunch of other writers who were unproven in the industry and went, write something. If it's good and if it sells well, we'll give you more.
Right.
And she tried to say that it was because she was a woman and that they were doing it. And they went, well, if you're just... And also she'd been doing the Watcher, their web series about the state of Marvel that's going on, and they went, well, once that's over, you're no longer working for us because we don't agree with you. We gave you that book because we were testing you out, so whatever. So the fact that she's now kind of,
the thing is that I remember doing a bunch of work when she did those crossovers with Spill.
Yeah.
That's the only reason, and it's only because I basically had to watch like clips of her and audio clips of her like over and over and over and over and over again. But it was funny because I liked the response that Deadpool account or whatever had for that.
Well, that was not a real response. That was a fan-made Twitter account.
It's just one of those things where like, go fuck yourself, Grace. Like, I want an adult movie.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry. You want a movie that kids can watch like every other Marvel or comic book movie ever fucking made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give us this one. It's a character that's appropriate for the rated R.
Yes. All right. So let's see. This next comes in from Tony, and he says, hey, Rage Select, what are your thoughts on games that nerf your abilities during boss fights? Character action games seem to be the biggest offenders. You fill up a skill tree and spend points on awesome abilities, but then when you get to a boss, your most powerful moves are automatically parried or countered with a canned animation. Also, I've never played a Souls game, but one thing I admired about them from afar is that they seem to subvert this trend. A little bit. Tony from Jacksonville.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
So think about okay, I'm trying to think of an example of, but here, I didn't really understand it, I think, the first time that I read this question, but then as I was reading it now, I got it, where, like, you go into a boss fight, like a third-person, let's say a third-person action game, right? You go into, like, the final boss fight, and when you try to do one of your moves, there's some kind of auto-counter to it that means that you can't do it. Like, I seem to remember, like, Metal Gear Rising having something like that, where it's, like, you try to do a thing, and the bosses that have ways to nullify your ways of attacking them, that you've been using on other things in the game.
Okay.
Whether it's like an unblockable or whether it's like a block that doesn't work by the same rules as other things. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Well, I wish that Tony would have given us some examples because I can kind of think about that, but then when he said souls, I just look at this.
Yeah.
Which it definitely does. Well, I generally speaking tend to think that that's kind of shitty.
I mean that is a shitty game. There's not a game, but a shitty thing if it's being done. But it also depends on the way it's being done. Because just thinking about it, mind you, again, I don't think of any examples. But if it's being done because it's the move is specifically something that you're going to be spamming on regular people, and you get to a boss. If it's being done as a way where you can't do it, you can still use that ability, just not in the same way because this guy's a boss and he's supposed to be more powerful or whatever.
Right.
I don't see a problem with that. Like if I have this slash move that does infinite damage, but every time I do it towards this guy, he puts his arm in front of him and it blocks it, and his arm is made of metal, so it does no damage to him.
Right.
But if I'm able to sidestep and do the move to his back, suddenly it does the same amount of damage as it was before, or something like that.
Right.
That's different. That's not the same. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But, I've never seen a game where they have an upgrade tree and then you get to a boss and it's like, you can't use that skill ever. You know, I've never seen that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Tony send this question back in with some examples. All I could think
I'm
of...
not saying it's a dumb question either. I'm just saying
I'm having a hard time thinking of any very specific thing. I mean, we're also obviously at the end of the podcast, right? So I'm having a hard time coming up with anything in particular that fits those rules. I will say that one of the reasons that I feel like people like the Souls and Bloodborne games is because, it's
a skill thing.
Well, because... one of the things that I feel like you don't see in a lot of video games, right, is when you meet up with Father Gascoigne in Bloodborne, for the first part of that fight, he's just a hunter like you.
Yeah.
Like, you're just having to deal with the same moveset that you already have, and instead of these shambling enemies or, enemies that work with a different set of rules, this is a person who has your stuff, a person who can heal themselves, a person who can visceral attack you, if you get into the wrong situation, where that feels very fair. In Dark Souls, the undead soldiers at the very beginning, when you attack them, sometimes if you lay off of them, they'll back up and they try to heal themselves by drinking Estus the same way that you do.
Yeah.
And they're left vulnerable the same way that you are. So it's like, great. You are now in a position where everybody's on a level playing field, right?
Yeah.
So there's something attractive about that, because it's almost like everybody has to play by the same rules. It's not that the end boss is ridiculously more powerful than you. It's just they have more moves, but they're still playing by the same overall set, right?
Yeah.
All right, one more quick question, then we're done. This one comes from Paul, and Paul says, I love me some Metroidvania games. I just finished Axiom Verge on the PC. To get 100% completion, it takes solving some devilishly hard puzzles. These final puzzles reminded me of Fez, but I caved and went to the internet much sooner. My question, what makes a good, hard, but fair puzzle? What are some of the memorable, good, hard, and fair puzzles in games? I love finding the Rosetta Stone room in Fez. Has the last tan fox sleeping over a sleepy dog. Thought that the fan boat ramp that you had to put buoyant barrels under in Half-Life 2 was pretty cool as well. From Paul.
That's a good question.
Yep. I remember, I think one of the great ones is because they lead you to it. First of all, the Portal games are incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And Valve does a great job with what they would do testing to see if people got hitched up.
The team who makes those Portal games are fucking top notch
on those. But the way that you beat Portal 2 is amazing.
Yeah.
Where they talk to you about how, that stuff on the walls, that's moon rocks. And then you're in this final battle and the roof breaks open and you can see the moon. And it's like, what am I doing here? And it's like, I'm going to put a portal here. And it's like, wait, that's made of moon rocks? It's like, wait a minute. And then you shoot the other portal at the moon, and it sucks sweetly through out into space. And it's just like, that was incredible. That was great because they led you to it, and then, boom, they kind of gave it to you there at the end.
Spoilers, by the way.
It's Portal 2.
I know, I'm joking.
It's Portal 2. I'm trying to think of other puzzles that were really satisfying to solve. I mean, a lot of times I'll give puzzles a chance, but if they get too spicy, I got to make progress. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So, do you have any that specifically come to mind? Anything that's real
Can't really think of anything puzzle-wise.
You know, it's funny. I got to tell you that last week we talked about, there was another question that brought me back to Pony Island, but I'll tell you right now, Pony Island did a couple of really, really, really interesting things. Did you watch the videos that we did for Pony Island?
I watched about 2/3 of the first video.
Okay, so in the second one, there's this interaction, and these are spoilers for Pony Island, so you could skip over it if you want to play it, which I highly recommend you do. It's like $6. It takes you like an hour and a half, where you're fighting, you're having a battle of wits with this demon, this
yes, I
demon.
did see that.
And there's one point where he just tells you to type in a thing, and then he tells you, keep your eyes on me at all times. He says, type in a thing, anything. He says, type in the most vulgar thing that you can think of. And then while he's talking to you, like he goes to say some other things, a fake Steam chat comes up of a randomly picked person on your friends list who is repeating back to you what you typed in and being like, really? That's the most disgusting thing that you can think of? You are not very good at this game. Like, I don't even know where you came up with that. And then it just says, like, look at me. And then when you look back over, it's just that demon with a prompt that says, what did I just say? And like distract you. The last one I had to look up because he gives you a number and then says, just type this number back in. And when you get to the third number in the sequence, because it's 4 numbers, the game crashes and says, PonyIsland.exe is crashed. Do you want to like end task or wait to see if the program responds? And it's like that Windows 7, the app goes white, the Windows thing comes up. The only way to continue the game is you have to say, wait for this to respond.
Yeah.
And if you say close, it closes the game.
Yeah.
And when you load back up, it just does it the same thing, to the point where I had to go look it up online because I was like, okay, is this the game fucking with me, or is this just like, a thing? I thought those were both really clever. There's a lot of clever puzzle stuff out there. I can't remember. I just kind of have a hard time coming up with stuff. But well, anyway, I think that's going to wrap us up.
It's good for me.
Okay.
I can't think of anything.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. If you have a question, send it to mail@rageslike.com. Do send in your questions when you think of them, because we do need them. Next week we're probably going to be back to...
You don't have to wait for any time. Just send them in.
We're probably going to be back to more questions, so we will need more questions next week. As always, John, thank you so much for coming by.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week. So, good night, everybody! Yow! Yow!